The way their drums come in, oh my days. And then Keem, are you happy for me?
Are you happy for
me?
me?
There's so many.
Why is his voice like that?
Bitch, are you happy for me?
There's so many quables in this
Smile on
album,
my
man.
face, but are you happy?
Why is he saying it like that?
I'm on the way. Are you happy for me?
I've never enjoyed a review like this, by the way.
That's how I imagine him doing his posture when he says it.
Are you happy for me?
Why is he talking like that, bro?
Bitch, are you happy for me?
Alright, cool with it.
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 72 of the Rhymes Like Diamonds podcast with your boys Peter,
Yo.
Mohammed,
Yep.
and myself, Yemi. And today we're joined by a special guest, a returning guest, family, big bro, one half of the This Could End Terribly podcast.
Yeah.
We welcome back Abiade.
Done. Thank you for having me.
Long time coming.
What a welcome. Yeah, no, I've missed you guys.
It's been a minute, man.
It's been a little while.
Yeah,
60 episodes ago.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man, old
Swear.
studio ago.
Yeah, it was like episode. You were our first guest. I think it was like episode 12 or something.
was a whole
Wild style.
Yeah, something
Wild
like that,
style.
The studio
man.
changed. Everything
That was
changed.
free,
Woo!
that was free
Everything
Kim's,
has
innit?
changed.
What?
That was free Kim's.
Free Kim.
Yeah,
Free
yeah,
Kims,
yeah,
J.
yeah.
Cole, Industry Plants.
Yeah, that was
stuff.
good times.
You man got me in trouble on that episode.
You should have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get trouble?
You Georgia Smith.
Hey,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shout, hey, listen. Let me know. Anyway, boys, how you doing today?
Blessed and highly favored, man.
Hey, man, God is
How
good
are
all
you,
the time.
bro? All the time, God is good.
Can't complain.
Yeah, man. Very much blessed. Shout out to Drake's
Big up
in the
Drake,
cup.
man.
Done now.
You good, Drake's?
He's comfy.
He's
Lovely.
stressed because of Arsenal, bro.
Yeah.
I understand.
Shout out to all the Arsenal
understand the
fans
correlation.
listening right now.
I understand the correlation.
You bottled the thing. One game a week.
I'm
That's
not
all
even
I'll say.
gonna.
That's all I'll say. You good, Mo?
I'm not biting.
You sure?
I'm not biting. I'm not.
I've never seen somebody so like upset watching a game of football than Mo in Sweden the other week when the North London derby ran away from man.
There's a lot going on.
Man said he's into rugby now.
There's a lot going
Guy
on.
He's
threatened
like,
to
football
get
is
him
long.
Back to yard.
I really wanted to leave, by the way. I got held hostage, but that's neither here nor there.
He tried to leave twice.
That shit was depressing,
That
but
was hilarious, bro.
Very funny. I wish we were there for Newcastle. That
don't
would be
worry,
amazing.
fam. I'll come back Champions League final.
Listen, man. Where
I
were
rebuke
can
you.
never be. Yeah, 100%.
Say,
Allow it.
one thing happened. Let Benzema score one. Oh,
Hey, man.
oh,
Against VVD.
VVD.
Don't do that.
You didn't even believe that.
Didn't even
You
believe it.
know what I mean?
There was no bass in your
There was
voice.
no
bro.
bass, there was no bass.
At all,
Can you
man.
imagine the whole Benzema? Benzema that's played everyone from Rio Ferdinand to Nemanja Village. He's now going to get shook up.
It's not VVD though.
You say?
Not
It's not VVD though.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Not even Matip. Joe Matip, bro.
Yeah, Ferdinand's better than VVD. That's
Ferdinand?
Rio Ferdinand.
Nah.
VVD's got the ponytail and the waves.
You think
Talk
VVD's
about
better?
it.
We'll talk about it after pod.
Yeah.
We will do.
VVD's better than Rio
He's
Ferdinand.
the GOAT.
Yeah. How are you, Yemi?
Van Dijk.
Thank you. I'm cool, man. I'm blessed. I'm ready to pod.
Hey,
Yeah,
let's
my
get
brothers. And ready to get down to it. It's going to be a special episode.
It's
I
a
feel
big
like.
one.
Oh, the
I feel like
nitty
it's
gritty.
gonna be- I feel like it's
Yeah,
gonna be a big one.
baby.
But let's get the formalities out of the way. Shout out the SoundCloud massive. Shout out the Spotify massive. The Apple Podcast massive. The Amazon Music massive. And the YouTube massive.
Hey.
Well,
Sorry, we do that on my thing.
you really brought the TCE.
He's a proper podcaster now,
Yeah,
isn't he?
Oh, fully.
Yeah,
fully,
yeah,
fully,
10 out of 10
fully. Before we get into it, shout out Johnny as well. Johnny
Yeah,
V.
big up
the other
Johnny,
half
man.
of This Could End Terribly.
He's alright. He alright.
He aight. And salute 30k streams.
Oh, man.
Salute to
Talk about
you.
it.
Come on. Speak on that, brother.
It is a group effort, as far as I'm concerned. I just record a podcast. If we get streams, it is good, but I'm a team player. It's not about the individual wins.
That's just a generic football answer, isn't it? Such a generic football
I mean, he sounds like someone familiar, bro.
but it's such a generic
Every
I've been
foreign
watching-
coach.
I've been watching.
It's not about
I've been
me.
watching a few interviews. Nah, but big up everybody who's been supporting the thing in it. This Could End Terribly. It's another good podcast from the Abiades.
Yeah, we try our best.
Hey, man.
We try our best.
Our parents must be so proud.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Shout out Mumsy, man. Of
The
course.
podcasters.
Why you got to say it like that?
I don't know.
When the money comes in, then, you know,
Hey,
it is what
man.
it is.
Inshallah.
She now
Inshallah.
asks, are you recording today? So that's progress.
Oh, shout out, Mumsy.
Yeah, man, that's,
I love
that's
you.
progress. At first she didn't understand, but now she's like, you recording? So
Yeah.
it's all good.
100%.
But let's get down to the nitty gritty, the first topic, and we're going to review one of the most anticipated albums, not only of the year, maybe of the last two.
It's the biggest album drop we've had.
No, it's 1,855 days, in fact.
Wow, you actually know the number.
Yeah, it's the biggest album drop we've had.
The,
Easily.
the most anticipated album drop in a long ass time, probably since we started this pod.
Easily, yeah.
We are going to be talking about dissecting, highlighting,
Talk about it.
talking about one Kendrick Lamar's new album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Kung Fu Kenny.
Doesn't he do this on the album a lot?
He does.
Window steppers, innit?
A lot of tap
He does
dancing.
down now. Window
But
steppers.
we ain't
a
tap
lot.
dancing around nothing today. We're getting straight to the nitty gritty.
Let's get down to nitty gritty.
Right. Kendrick Lamar. Where do we start with Kendrick Lamar?
Oh man.
Compton, California's finest. Been in the game for a long ass time. Has classics upon classics.
Talk about it.
You could start going all the way back to 2011. Section 80,
It's where the love affair began.
where the love affair
ADHD.
began.
Rigor mortis.
Yes. Yes. Fuck your ethnicity. High power.
Oh,
Yo,
high power.
Fuck your ethnicity, yo. It was one of my. You know, you asked me the other day, like, which song can you live without, or couldn't you live
Yeah.
without? That's on my top.
And I said high power was
Yeah,
mine,
yeah,
innit?
yeah,
High
yeah.
power was
Sorry.
my top 5. Kendrick
The
was top
foundation.
ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Then we take it to Good Kid, Bad City.
talk about it.
The instant classic that it was.
Yak,
Contrary to Peter's belief.
Backseat freestyle.
Wait, what?
Contrary to Peter's belief.
Wait, you got a Good Kid, Mad City view?
No, I just said it wasn't an instant classic.
Alright.
It was an
Yeah, me
instant
carry on. There's gonna be mad fights.
I said
then-
it.
Oh
But
man,
I want-
no.
then-
Peter's evil villain today.
Cuz.
I see what time
Yes.
it is.
Yeah,
I see what time it
yeah,
is.
me. Repeat yourself. It was an instant what?
The instant classic.
It was an instant
That was
classic.
Good Kid, Mad City.
I
That's a
mean,
fact. That was an instant classic.
And then going away for a minute and following it up with To Pimp a Butterfly.
Talk about it.
walls could talk.
Yeah.
Another instant
Sorry.
classic. You
That,
could
that, was,
argue.
that was perfect.
All
Another
right.
instant classic you could
All
argue.
right, King
One of the most
Kunta. He had
important
all.
albums of the 2010s, if not the most important album.
Mortal Man on that as well.
He then went away again, and came back and gave you Damn.
I don't give a fuck. No.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't. Come on.
Man said,
what are we
if I
doing
gotta slap a pussy, make it look sexy.
He did. Duckworth, Pride,
here? Duckworth.
When are they gonna put?
When
When are they gonna put
Duckworth.
respect on man?
XXX. He even had Bono sounding sexy. And then he went away again. And the whole world was wondering when the next K dot dropping. And then maybe about a week or so ago, on a Monday, I wake up and I find a new Kendrick drop, The Heart Part 5,
The Heart Part 5.
and it's video in which he morphs into various figures.
Yo,
of
can I
black
just say?
culture.
Can I just say, yo, that deep fake stuff is gonna get man in trouble.
It's going to get people
Yeah,
in trouble,
fully.
man. It's going to get people
Fully.
in trouble. Because it had the mannerisms in which they move as well.
Like,
Like,
if you
Will
got-
Smith mannerism was 10 out of 10.
Yo, if like a woman or whoever wants to like orchestrate a divorce and be like, you cheated, and you're like, no, I didn't. Well, what is this?
Boom.
What are you meant to do,
Yeah, man.
Because it was the way they were moving their head.
fam?
Yeah.
It looked like Will Smith. Like, even
Fam,
though he
he
was
moved-
moving his
it
head,
was
just
it
real.
looked like
It was
Will
them.
Smith.
It
Yeah.
was-
Morphed into Will Smith,
Yeah, anyway.
Kanye West, O.J. Simpson,
Nipsey.
Jussie Smollett, Nipsey Hussle, and someone else.
Kobe.
Kobe as well.
Yeah.
And that just got the internet on fire. Hyped
Crazy.
for this new drop.
What a guy.
And then 4 days later, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers dropped. And here we are. It is a double album, 9 tracks apiece, clocking at about an hour, 20 minutes. And it contains features by the likes of his cousin and player partner, Baby Keem.
Future goat.
Hot Take, Kodak Black, Summer Walker, Ghostface Killer, Sampha, Blast, Amanda Reefer, Tanner Leone, Beth Gibbons from Portishead, Sam Jew, and a bag others.
Yeah, that Sam Jew's got a voice, boy.
A hell of a
He
voice.
used to work with Wale quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. And production by the likes of Soundwave, DJ Dahi,
Soundwave.
Beach Noise, Deval Timothy, Boy Wonder.
You know, I know Deval Timothy.
Yes.
Yeah, you know his brother. Well, I almost did some music with him back in the day, but Deval Timothy is an amazing producer, songwriter, and his brother Miles Timothy used to go by the name of Crazy Bandit. He used to be like a grime artist, but they're from Southeast, so shout out Southeast. I would like to say another win for Nigeria, but they're actually from Sierra Leone.
I mean,
Salute to Sierra Leone.
salute to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
I feel you. Shout out to Deval Timothy as well, but we're going to get into that. But the time has come, boys.
The time has
Kendrick has released another album. I want to go off the bat and say it's a tough album in the sense of what he's talking about, because he very much following his artistic tradition of like kind of looking within himself and looking outward in his environment and looking at, you know, survivors, guilt, grief, you know, life, death, riches, and all that good stuff. He's kind of back into that lane, but it's very much in the vein of like a therapy session for him. Like there's themes throughout this album where, you know, you have his wife Whitney Alford kind of instructing him to go to therapy. You have the teachings of German philosopher Eckhart Tolle kind of soundtracking the album as well. And he's very much looking inwards. It sounds like to me it's his most personal album for a lot of reasons that we're going to get into. But, boys, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, what do we think? The floor is open.
Who wants to start?
You can.
You might want me to start. I'll start. Yeah, that's fine.
Go, Drew. First of all, before you start, talk through your expectations for this album, if there were any.
I didn't have any, man. It's Kendrick.
Liar.
It's not seriously.
Liar.
I didn't have any. You can't with Kendrick because you just don't know where he's going to go artistically. So it's difficult to have any expectations. I expected, actually no, tell a lie. I expected quality music because it's Kendrick in it, and his record at the moment is, he ain't got no L's in it. So I expected some quality music. But so you man kind of know my process with regards to artists releasing albums. I stay away from the singles. So when he dropped The Heart Part 5 and everybody was kind of buzzing and talking about it, I kind of stayed away from it because I wanted to wait to see if it was going to be on the album. And then when I saw that it wasn't on the album, I thought I could listen to it. But by the time that had come around, the album was out. So I went back and I listened to The Heart Part 5 and I watched the video and I was like, yo, this is fucking amazing. I absolutely loved the video, bro. And he was spitting. He was really spitting, man. And I felt like he was talking to the hood. And I just loved the perspective that he was coming from on that track. So boom, I listened to that song. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready for this album. And actually, before I started pressing play, I was kind of surprised it wasn't on the album because I just thought it was that great of a song.
He usually doesn't put the hearts on albums.
I know, but I just thought because it was so close to the release of the album, it was going to be on there, but it wasn't. So I listened to the album. I give it the once over, and I think Nee had actually called me the day after I'd listened to it, and my initial feeling was just that I weren't sure. I was kind of conflicted. I felt like it was a beautiful album in parts, very beautiful. The content felt like his best to date. It felt like he had dug to a place that he hadn't done before. And he's given us personal songs, but I just felt like he took it to a whole nother point. And I think the added element of him going to therapy probably helped in that respect as well. But my initial feeling was I wasn't sure about the production, and which made the flows and the lyrics a bit difficult to take in. Even though I enjoyed the content, the delivery of the content was quite tough to take in. I really enjoyed the messages throughout the album on the first listen, but I don't know, there just still wasn't, I still couldn't give you a definitive, I love this album. I loved what the messages were, but I couldn't say I loved this album and the music behind it. So I kind of walked away from it like, I'm not sure. And then I went back to it, and I felt the same way. I still felt the same. I think I took in more of the messages. The lyrics were hitting me a bit more. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I have an even deeper appreciation of what he was doing in the album. And then on the third listen, something kind of tweaked where songs that I weren't really feeling to begin with, I started quite enjoying. But I still can't say I love this album though. I know it's a good album. I know it is. But I can't say that I will go back to it.
Why are you forcing yourself?
No, I'm not forcing myself. It's Kendrick. So there are times where I need multiple listens. But yeah, I can't say I love this album though. But I know it's a good album.
But can you definitively say that you like it?
I like moments.
You like moments?
Yeah, I like moments. There were songs that he, like Auntie's Diaries, I love. Father Time, I love. We Cry Together, I love. Do you know what I mean? So there are songs that I enjoy, but then there are songs where I'm not feeling the production behind it. Like United in Grief, I think it's called, the first tune. Weren't feeling that.
You weren't feeling United in Grief?
Nah, bro. It was all over the place.
I grieve different.
Yo, he barred down that song.
The lyrics were great, but the music behind it just was a bit all over the place to me, man. And I felt like it was very staccato jazz, and I love jazz, but it just weren't really for me. I weren't feeling it. And then N95, I was like, yo, bro, what the fuck is this, man? Like,
fam,
you didn't like N95?
I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Take it off. You didn't like it?
I felt like, yo, baby.
You out of pocket.
I felt like he was doing a favor for Baby Keem. Like, Baby Keem produced the thing. That's his cousin. Let's rap to this. That's how I felt.
You know, N95 was made 2 years ago as well, by the way.
Yeah, the video was made 2 years ago.
I didn't love N95 to begin with when I first heard it. I didn't love it. It's grown on me.
Yo, so N95, that video has probably got about 15 million views on YouTube right now. I easily gave it about 5 million of those. Easily.
It's a hell of a video. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But you...
Damn.
Yeah, man, I don't think I like it.
You think it's going to take you a couple more listens to appreciate? Or you
maybe so. Maybe so, man, because Yeezus was a grower for me. Do you know what I mean? That was definitely a grower for me. And I remember when Nee first listened to it, he was like, "Yo, this might be the Yeezus in his catalog." And at times it kind of gave me that feel, and it also gave me 444 feel, but a deeper version of that. But from the musicality standpoint, it was definitely very different to what he's already given us, and maybe that's what has thrown me off, and maybe that's why it's taken me a bit longer to get into it. But at the moment, I don't think I like it. And it's hard because I'm conflicted with it because I love the content. Content-wise, I think it might be his best album.
You just don't like
The reason why I asked
but the music behind it, I don't know, man.
The reason why I asked why you forcing it in my Nigerian accent was because I feel like a lot of people feel like they kind of have to like a Kendrick thing. And like, you don't have to like it.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to like
Absolutely.
it.
No, but there are albums that like in the initial like first 2-3 listens I don't like, and then years later.
I mean, I'll judge you for not liking it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I
But,
feel you.
but you know, you
But
don't
sometimes
have
it
to.
takes longer for things for you to get things and for things to hit you. So
I think this
it
album
may
is
be a
definitely a
case
grower.
here.
I think it's
Because
definitely a
Damn, I think I was the same with Damn. I didn't like Damn straight away.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a while, and I was like, yo, I fucking love Damn. I don't think it's a classic, but I love it though.
I hear you.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know with this album. At the moment, I don't like it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is.
And he's talking about very important things.
Bro, I love
So
this
it's
album.
hard. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm the opposite, bro. I love this album. I think Kendrick done the hardest thing in the world for me, which is telling the world about himself without being arrogant, and then telling the world about himself without it being too much. Do you know what I mean? Like he balanced it perfectly, having a mirror to the world. Like, this is what you lot are, and you lot are all, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, the world we live in now, and then telling us everything that he lived through, whether it was Auntie Diaries, whether it was Rich Stories,
Yeah, man.
and then whether it was N95. The first half of it, I definitely got the big steppers, and then the second half, I was Mr. Morale.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of flipped in the way he worded it, but I loved everything about this album. The flow changed, the way he was messing with his voice. I don't think anyone could do that better than Kendrick as well. I think the way Kendrick changes his voice, depending on the song, I don't think anybody's doing that better than him right now in terms of rapping. And this album grew on me, by the way. First time I heard it, it's a heavy listen. This album's a heavy listen. Talk about what he's talking about, whether it was LGBT, whether it was domestic violence, whether it's poverty, police brutality. It's a heavy listen. But to me, we're going to deep into it more later, but just how I feel now, I've gone back to this album more than I've gone back to, I think, any album since Good Kid for Kendrick. I've gone back to this album easily more than I've gone back to any album since
Even
Good
to
Kid.
Pimp?
Yeah, I've definitely gone back to this more. Because I think there's certain songs that Father Time is going to be a song forever, in my opinion. The way what he's talking about, the last verse where he's talking about people that are fatherless and they're looking to whether they're looking into
Father Time
inspiration.
speaks to me more than any other
It's
song on
timeless.
this album.
And
I was even going to say, and sorry to cut you both off, like I don't think there's been a rapper that has spoke about daddy issues from that perspective.
Not in that way.
We usually get rappers coming from a bravado standpoint where it's like, yo, fuck pops, fuck this, do you know what I mean? But not from the perspective of having your dad
100%.
there.
100%.
Maybe when they're absent, but not there. Having daddy issues when they're there.
Which threw me off a little bit because obviously in Good Kid, Mad City, even though dad is present, it's kind of more positive because he doesn't want him to be like anything like the street guys that he sees and what he might have been. Whereas now on Father Time, it's very much flipped on its head. Like, you're the reason why I am this way, and here's why, sort of thing. Like, it's a very deep song.
Yeah.
You were saying, Ma?
Yeah, no, just you could go into it, but the whole album's deep. Which one is it? Is it We're in This Together, where the girl and the guy going,
And
We
we cry together?
I love that.
So that song reminds me of
Kim.
all of the arguments.
I was going to say Kim Eminem as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, it reminds me of Kim for sure. But it also reminds me of all the times in relationships where I've deliberately caused arguments
Where you just been
because
toxic.
I knew that it was going to result in mind-blowing sex.
So where you just been toxic.
Sick.
It reminds you of your toxic days.
I'm not going to be the only one in the room who admits to that.
Well, it's too late.
Is this a safe space or not?
It's fully a safe
I
space,
ain't
but
admitted
I
that,
can't say
I don't
actively start an
I
argument
don't think
with
I've done that.
I can't like the song ain't
before.
got that in the comment with me.
I've never done that. I'm sorry.
The bit where she was clapping was like, I should have fucked another dick. I was like, yo, that's wild.
That was crazy.
That's wild,
That
bro.
was crazy.
Yo.
Oh my.
Wait, you guys have never like just like, I'm not saying like started an argument, but I'm saying like you could have pulled back out of what was an incoming
But you know
argument,
what
but
you
you're like,
want.
fuck it, I'm going to go in on this one. I'm going to stick to my grounds because it's going to end amazingly.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's done that.
I'm not on that train.
I'm not.
Alright,
on that train, sorry. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Sorry.
But-
not yet. Anyway.
All right. Well,
Yeah, you could talk into the album, but to me, yeah, it was a very savior. There's so many high points on this album.
I
to
think he
me.
contradicted himself on that song though, man.
I
because-
think the whole premise of the album is I think the whole premise was don't listen to me.
No,
Like,
but I
can only
don't think
do so
you
much.
can't say
Kendrick's
that.
been a
I don't
contradiction
think you
from
can
the
say that
beginning.
because, bro, the album
How?
cover is him with a crown, bro. So you're embracing this savior complex thing, but then
But
you're
is he
saying
talking
I'm
about for
not-
his family or is he talking about for us?
Heavy is also.
I think
for.
for
Is the crown for us or his family?
okay, good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me,
it,
it was
could-
more.
it depends how you interpret it.
And
To-
heavy
yeah,
is
to
also
me-
the head that wears the crown as
Yeah.
well. Like even though he wears it, and sometimes he might feel like he wants to, it's a burden.
I think he's spoken that on Damn as well, though.
Kendrick's
I
been
think Kendrick has
came
spoke
out
about-
from the beginning
Yeah,
and said, "I am going to be a contradiction."
Yeah, he goes.
That's
I
his
don't
whole
want
thing.
this. I think it
Good
was
Kid,
in-
Mad City is a perfect exemplification of like the life that he has had to lead and the fact that he has had to be banging at the same time as trying to be this spiritual, noble person who is like teaching people.
He's got a bar, good kid.
I
where
mean,
he
he's
says,
always been that
Imagine
guy.
Kendrick killing someone at 16. I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah,
even
he's always
on,
been that guy.
Even on slavery, he says, "I'm not pro-black. I'm more like Kodak Black."
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Like,
So he's always going to give you those contradictions, and I think that was the point of the album.
Yeah, like I am just a human.
which is how we like people, by the way.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, that's why.
Tupac
That's
is my
why.
favorite rapper, so he's like walking contradiction.
Hennessy
More than
and
anything,
me.
innit? Relax.
You could only bar 2 words. But what I'm saying is, just to be but I'll let you man go into it. But this album to me is, I'm gonna use a word, and if it's too big, it is what it is. It's not flawless. I'm not gonna say it's a flawless album, but to me, it's pretty damn close, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything. There's not one thing I can't say I didn't enjoy about this album. From the interludes, there was one of the interludes that I wish was a song.
On Keem.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, Keem
And how-
snaps.
Yeah, he
like
snaps.
don't
Keem
you know when you're there, you're like,
slaps.
no, we're not stopping this right now. It
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
was one of those feelings. And to me, Kendrick bodied this album, man. Like bodied this album, in my opinion. Like I've gone back to it every. Do you know, I used to go back to an album every day just out of like just because I want to. It
Especially
genuinely.
an album as deep as and heavy as.
Do you
that
know what I
one.
mean? And it's man, it's a lot of work. You man,
Got you.
It's a masterpiece, guys.
there we go.
It's a masterpiece. Like, and I obviously need to preface this by saying I'm the biggest K-Dot fan, probably going, and I really don't see why he is as polarizing as he is in terms of his style and in terms of his contributions. But I guess maybe that's the evolution of this conversation. We'll get onto that. But this is a masterpiece from start to finish. You mentioned there are parts in this that I mean, make it not flawless. I would say that there's one point in this album I think that makes it not a flawless album. It's probably that track with Portishead, where he has that very, very long verse where, you know, if I kind of zoned out a little bit on it, and that's when I think he's aware of it, because that's when his voice starts getting more and more loud and more aggressive. But we're talking about somebody, and I mentioned this on mine yesterday, we're talking about somebody who every single time they drop an album, they reach a new peak. And I don't want to get into a debate about the upper echelons of rap. I was a hell of a lot more bolshy with it yesterday, but I had a couple of whiskeys. So I'm not going to do that today. We need to have that conversation, but I'm not going to do that today.
We can.
This is a guy who every single time he drops a completely different level, a completely new sound, and it's always an enjoyable listen from start to finish. It's a challenging listen in some respects, and Peter mentioned that I said that this is sort of like a Yeezus moment. It's not a Yeezus moment overall. I probably meant more that like it's harsh at times, it's unexpected at times, it can be almost a little bit abrasive at times. Whereas I think if you got a jazz album, To Pimp a Butterfly, it's a little bit more easy on the ears. If you got Damn, which they say is more his quote unquote more mainstream album, it's a bit more easy, but that in itself had difficult moments. This album, from start to finish, is just head and shoulders above anybody who is considered to be Kendrick Lamar's peer today. He picked the right producers, as usual. He's done I think he did quite a bit of production himself as well, which is a space in itself, which I'm very excited
Is that
about.
who OK Llama is?
Oklahoma
that's
is him.
That's
Oklahoma
him.
is
That's
him.
him.
Okay.
That's why
Oklahoma is
Kodak
him.
Black goes.
Yeah.
Okay, Llama.
Yeah,
Right.
Oklahoma is him. Or OK Llama, I don't know how you pronounce it. But that's going to be part of the whole PG Lang thing as well. The decision, and I like decisions like this. It's kind of like when J. Cole decided to put Cameron on the introduction of the latest album, like just random things. He puts Kodak Black as the narrator out of nowhere, and it makes fucking sense.
It's a bit more problematic though, man.
It's not problematic because, again, like,
Let me tell you why though. Because of what Kodak has been accused of doing. This guy was, I don't know if he, I think he actually went to, I don't know if he did prison
I
time.
think he done prison time for assault.
did
Yeah,
prison time
for
assault.
sexual assault. So it was a bit techie.
he served his time, right?
I don't know. I don't actually know what happened with
I
the
think-
case, but
I mean,
there
did
was
he- I mean,
there were
no,
allegations.
Was it
though,
sexual
innit?
assault or did he domestic?
I don't know.
But
I
you guys on N95, he's like, what the fuck is cancel culture, dog?
Yeah. I'm
If
like,
you
Oprah,
served your
dog.
time, if the whole thing about the justice system is you do the crime and you serve your time, if he served his time, Kodak Black is still one of the more famous rappers in hip hop right now.
And do we shut
Like,
it
is he
forever?
I mean, how long does that dynamic potentially last.
it's
I don't think it's controversial that he's on this album. I think it's just a symbol of just how well he is respected, and maybe also a symbol of just us maybe not knowing the full story. Like,
I think there's a lot of the uproar.
despite the verdict.
I think a lot of the uproar came from not only the fact that he's got priors as far as like sexual assault and stuff, but it's also the fact that you're Kendrick Lamar. What are you doing with someone like Kodak? It seemed as if on paper that just wouldn't work. And if you listen to Kodak, as problematic as he is and can be, he's a good artist.
And he's very introspective.
Very introspective.
If you listen to his music, he's very introspective. He does a lot of fuck shit. He really does. He's ghetto, bruv.
Very.
But he's smart.
The older heads seem to love him.
Yeah.
Like the older heads, the Coles,
The
'cause
biggest
Cole had
names know him.
The Kendricks,
Yeah, they
like,
all
they
love
seem
him.
to love him for some reason. Why, I don't know.
But also,
Yeah.
it just shows that they're not ready to give up on him just because he's got these cases on his name or he's got this reputation.
And that should be
Which
right.
is a conversation that society
Which is cancel culture. Which
it's
would
not
have been
really ready
cancel
to have.
culture.
Yeah.
and which is
what
the
Kendrick's
antithesis.
going against.
Yeah, exactly.
So if anything, Kodak Black being there is almost like a mechanism to kind of go against that. Like, okay, you've got this cancel culture. All right, cool. We don't hear that over here, sort of thing. So I respected it and I liked it for the most part. Kodak did his job. Even on the feature on Silent Hill, did his thing. The interlude, introducing the album, like he didn't put a foot wrong on this album for me.
Like, and it's his last album with TDE, right? So by all means, he could have taken his foot off the gas completely, but this sounds like an album that he has put the most effort in as well.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
you listen to this album and it's an album that you can clearly see. He obviously had time with the pandemic happening to go back to this album and fine tune things. I'm sure that lyric about Drake and Kanye wasn't there when he first wrote that song, right? Like the pandemic has ultimately meant that everything was on delay, which is why the N95 video is an older video. Hairstyles changed. He's got dreads now. He didn't have dreads in that video, etc., etc., etc. So for that reason, it sounds like an album which he's gone back to and finally tweaked and etc., etc. And that shows. But I mean, I guess that just turned out to be his luck because it ended up just being the most intricate album. And to your point, he goes to spaces, to both of your points, he goes into spaces which are super, super difficult to go into without it being heavy, without it being preachy. Like the Father Time tune with Sampha. I mean, I love Sampha, but I don't love his music.
I don't like his
I've
voice.
never heard the guy sound so amazing.
Okay.
Right, like, and great artists bring that out of other artists. The reason why Sampha sounds that great is because Kendrick put him in the perfect platform. Baby Keem, like, I mean, that story is going to develop into something special. I think
Yeah, you
he's
can see
already
already.
20 years old, 21 years old. He's a Grammy winner. His influence is over here, and to be 21 and people to be like, I can hear your influence on a Kendrick Lamar album. You know how special this boy
It's
is.
so clear as well.
It's mad, right? I don't necessarily need to go into the tracks by tracks, but like from the start to finish, this is just incredible.
It's art,
right?
man.
It's incredible.
I want to touch on something you said. And this album showed it to me more than anything. The level of Kendrick to his peers, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like it's not even funny because I love the off season.
Yeah.
The gap between the off season and this album, or the guy that made what's the light skin you say? Aubrey Graham.
The light skin.
Like the
was
gap
wild.
between, like that guy gives me what's that song? What's that TikTok song? In?
Oh man.
Oh, Tootsie Slide.
Like look at the difference. One is giving me Tootsie Slide. Do you know what I mean though? Like just artistically, the levels between
I did
Kendrick.
think about that too.
Like come on, one is giving me Tootsie Slide and TikTok videos, but Kendrick, just the difference is.
Do you not think the off
It's a
season?
massive
Do you not
gap,
think
bro.
the off season, like J Cole, could hold the off season verse next to him?
I don't-
Nah, off season sounds like a mixtape now, bro.
Bro, I was genuinely about to say, I've gone back to off season. Off season just, it is damn near a mixtape. Like, it's just, but no,
In
I love
comparison.
off season. Yeah, I love off season.
Yeah.
Don't get twisted. What he does to Certified Lover Boy ain't even funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even
I mean,
funny what he does to Certified Lover Boy.
Explicit.
Yeah. But the difference between, I don't think I've ever seen in rap anyway, a group of peers come out and want to be so outlandish compared to the rest.
But it's always been
Because
like
whenever it was Hove, there was still Nas. Whenever there was
but it's,
the-
for me, it's
the
always
Jars,
been like a
there was the 50s,
disingenuous.
There was always a close proximity to when the new group come out.
Yeah.
Kendrick is damn near far and away from everyone else.
But for me, it's always been a disingenuous rivalry. I think it's been a rivalry which has been concocted by the labels. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think this Drake, it wouldn't surprise me if this Drake and Kendrick thing is completely orchestrated from start to finish, right? Like, you never see Ronaldo and Messi in the same room, but somebody must have said to them, man,
No, I think
if
they
you
definitely
guys,
had
if you got, maybe, but like, it couldn't have been anything crazy. No one fucked someone else's misses or anything like that. It's just rivalry on the pitch. But somebody must have said from their PR teams, you both make more money if people think you hate each other. right? And I think that's basically what's happened. Like, we know that the Drake and Kanye thing was massively concocted. It got a little bit messy, but that was massively concocted, and Kanye West pretty much said that himself. So I think a lot of these rivalries that are modern day rivalries and peer groups as we see them are a bit disingenuous. Like, for me, Kendrick has always been like head and shoulders above.
And that's why I think the Drake.
Cole for me is next, and then Drake is so much more far below.
It's not even a joke.
It's not even a joke, but they shouldn't be measured on the same standards because they're completely different artists.
Just
the only
because of
ones,
artistry.
yeah, like the only ones who are similar in artistry is Cole and K-Dot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%.
But there's levels within that as well. So I don't know, man.
Do you think Drake felt away about that bar on Father Time?
No, I don't think he should.
Yeah,
I think he did. He
Yeah.
He felt way
away
over
will.
control.
Exactly.
He felt way over control. Like when he went on, was it Elliot Wilson show?
Yeah.
And it was like to Elliot
That's
Wilson.
how it
we're not
started.
gonna remember. Yeah,
But
that's how it
I
started.
don't- I don't
Because we're not going to remember this in a couple of years. Tell me how the
I
song
don't think
starts.
Kendrick said anything bad though. What do you say? That I'm
What do you
surprised
say,
them two
control?
came together. I'm not as mature. What's wrong with that?
We're talking
But what
about
did he say?
Aubrey.
but he
Control
said
does-
when Kanye got back with Drake,
I was slightly confused.
Yeah.
Guess I got some more
That's-
growing
yeah.
to do. No, that song's amazing. man.
Aubrey is probably going to think that in his own head and think, right, is this man coming for me?
He
In
don't
the
want it.
same way that
Yeah, me.
he felt for the control verse.
You don't want it though. I'm rapping with a Ghost Rider.
I mean,
What the
that-
fuck happened? Oh no,
I
are
mean,
you
that's
crazy?
that's
How is someone barring you and it's just a song like that? I said, I'm rapping with a Ghost Rider. What the fuck happened? Oh no! I swear I won't tell. Nah, Kendrick's a goat. Nah, I don't
Has
care.
Mo ever been this loud on a podcast?
No, because no, because the way. Look, it's only a matter of time. Do you know what I compare Kendrick to? And I really want to get into this. We're all sports fans here. I like to think we all like football. Do you remember when Messi had 4 Ballon d'Ors by 25?
yeah,
And it was only a matter of time before we call him the GOAT.
yeah,
That's Kendrick to a T to me.
yeah.
It's the 4 Ballon d'Ors at 25.
I hear it.
And it's only a matter of time before we conglomerately all agree he's the GOAT. It's only a matter of time, man.
Well, maybe not all of us.
No, someone's always going to hate. But to me, it's Messi with 4 Ballon d'Ors, man, at 25. Because it was only a matter of time when we called Messi the GOAT. We knew at 25 what
Do you know what I
we'd see.
appreciate about this album? I like the way Kendrick.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
I will take that one step further. I think Kendrick is the closest thing to a GOAT we've had since Jigga.
I agree there.
I think there is a massive gap between when we recognize Jay-Z as a GOAT to now. There's a massive gap that nobody has filled.
100%.
And I think Kendrick Lamar is now the guy who is the GOAT. He's the closest thing to the GOAT.
Do you think it's only a matter of time as well?
And when I say GOAT, I mean like, greatest rapper living and greatest rapper alive. Whatever fucking umbrella we want to put it on, that's a completely different
Do you
debate.
think it's only a matter of time before he's the GOAT?
No, he's not going to be the GOAT.
Let me just... we're going to come back to you. I just want everyone to... Yeah, me?
We can't argue. We cannot argue with this guy's catalog at this point, man.
Of course we can't, but it's more than that.
I think I said to you guys.
He
last
won't. He
week,
won't. He won't. He won't.
We can
we
make
just
it more than
leave a
that.
comment.
We can make it more than that if we want to, but we don't give a fuck about the side projects. We don't give a fuck about how much money he is making. We don't care about that.
No, but that all adds into somebody being great,
Nah,
bro.
nah.
No, bro. I think we're like confusing the best with the greatest, bro. Like we can't. Nobody's gonna be better than Jigga. That's just what it is. I don't
But
care
we're
how
talking
many
about
classic
only
albums.
music,
I
though.
don't care how many great albums you give me. You're not gonna be greater than Jigga, man. Jigga's just done too much. Jigga's too big.
Musically, has he
But
done,
we're
has he,
talking
but
culturally.
has he
Culture-
musically done too much?
Culturally, he's done
just
too
music,
much.
man.
I want
Just
to. I want to
music.
strip out that culture
Just
shit.
music.
We
That's what
can't.
I'm
We can't
saying.
strip out that
But
culture.
we can.
Shit. No,
We
we
can
can't,
talk about
bro.
music.
No, we can't, man. Why should we?
Let me ask you a question. Just music
Talk to
alone.
me.
Just take away for culture
Talk
for
to
2
me.
minutes.
Go on.
And you're just saying just music alone.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the
He's got to
conversation.
be
Stop sleeping on, man.
He's got to be...
I'm not. I ain't gonna lie to you, man, bro. Give me Jigga's best 4 albums. I'm putting them against Kendrick's 4 albums, and I'm picking Jigga's. So to me, nah, he ain't gonna be greater than Jigga. I'm sorry.
Did Jay-Z start like this?
No, it took a while.
That's my point.
It took a while.
To go 4 for 4, like, to
And
me,
me
I already
saying that
think-
is not
I think Mr.
disputing
Morale is
Kendrick's
the one.
greatness. By no means am I doing that, but we can't. I don't want to be so quick to say he's gonna be the GOAT, man. Do you know what Jigga had to do to get there, bruv?
Yeah.
And look at the albums that he dropped, bruv. And there was
Yeah.
still people kind of debating that. So I ain't gonna allow Kendrick the easy. Do you know what I mean? The easy win of saying, yo, one more and he's nah.
I don't think it's...
bro,
No, I think
don't
young-
think
We
it's
gotta
one
wait
more.
for that.
It's only a matter of time to me.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of
I
time.
think to go back to Mo's analogy about football, I think some of these younger guys, these newer guys, are achieving some of these accolades quicker than their predecessors, bro. So it's not.
I don't like that.
It's not a slight. It's not a slight to Jay-Z to say that somebody like Kendrick may already be on his coattails, given that he did Section 80, he did to Cookie Man City, to Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, and now Mr. Morale.
Nah,
That's
man.
5 albums which arguably nobody's going to deny at least
it's-
at least 8 or 9 out of 10 each of them.
It's disrespectful,
Right?
man.
Jay-Z, we're getting to a point where Jay-Z really, really might be a bit stressed about catalog alone. He's not gonna be stressed about Kendrick. He's not,
He lost albums 4 for 4, right?
Yeah, he's not gonna be stressed about Kendrick as a whole entity and businessman and all this other shit. He's not gonna be worried in that respect. No one's on Jay-Z's level. But musically,
Nah, man.
I mean, we need to stop.
No, musically,
I think-
We need to open it
Get me
up.
what you say?
We need to open
musically,
it up.
Kendrick's
You
quite-
man are being disrespectful. You man are being forgetful, bruv.
Jigga's like one of my top 5 greatest
Fam,
anything. Right?
I know that, but we're being forgetful right now, and we're being slightly
Okay,
disrespectful,
Pete,
bro,
let's-
man.
okay.
Nah, I'm not having
Yo,
it, man.
okay.
I'm not having it. Nah. I'm not having it.
Since
man.
we're here,
Really
let's do
do.
it. You said you'll put Jay's 4 best albums up against Kendrick's. What are his 4 best albums? to
It's
you?
a Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album, and most people today are saying 444.
Against Good Kid, To Pimp, Damn, and Mr. Morale.
Yeah. If I'm stuck on a desert island, I know which 4 I'm picking, and I love To Pimp a Butterfly. That's probably like in my
You're
top.
taking
To Pimp a Butterfly is probably my top
So-
5 hip hop albums ever.
So Desert Island, you got 5 albums to listen to for the rest of your life. You're picking
4.
You got 4 albums
Between
to listen
Jigger
to.
and K-Dot,
Yeah, you're taking the 4.
I'm taking Jiggers.
Fam, your palate is gonna be very malnourished.
Not at all.
Your palate will be
Nah.
malnourished, bruv.
Nah,
I don't know,
not
you
at
know.
all, man.
It within K-Dot has
I love
got.
the Black Album.
No, I'm saying that, but it's.
I'm taking Kendrick.
and this is what I'm saying, bro. Like we have to think about musicality when thinking about Desert Island. 4 albums I'm gonna listen to for the rest of my life. Kendrick has done every type of track at this point.
Even hear the conversation. We're talking about Kendrick's first 4 albums. Jay-Z been here for damn near 30 years.
You're a man who likes averages, innit?
Yeah.
When we start talking about man like Slim Shady and
you know
that,
what I mean? Damn near
he
30
likes the
and
average
I love-
chat.
Bro, you know me. Home's my favorite rapper of all time. It's always been the case.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think it's disrespectful. No one's even had a conversation with Jigga
Yeah.
since the 90s.
Nice.
No, as in, I'm talking about from take away his era.
Okay.
Outside his era, no one's even come close to now.
I think they tried it with Wayne.
I think he was the greatest rapper in life. I don't think ever. Do you know what I mean? So, for this to be the first time people are having this conversation where it's like, yo, he's coming for it. I don't think that's disrespectful, man. It shows you respect that no one said it for a good 30 years. That's the respect there.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? The respect is no one said it and then after the 90s.
Yeah, and it's like it's no disrespect because Kendrick isn't a flash in the pan. If we were saying this about Kodak, because he had one nice like 5-star album,
I know.
but this is
I
K
know.
Dot who's been doing it since, as you say, 2010. I think I got into him in like 2009, 2010, like, and that was overly dedicated.
I remember.
I got into when did I get onto it? I
Like-
think it was around about when the city.
And then High Power came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fam,
his,
I remember
his
how I
verse
got-
on The City,
That's what made
still
me-
to this
that's
day,
what made me
is one of the
find Kendrick.
greatest. Like, come on, man.
His verse on
Come
The
on,
City.
man.
What?
Come on, man. This is K. Dot you. Like,
And he's only going to get more consistent as well. I don't think he's going to. I don't know if he's capable of dropping it.
You man are acting like Jigga stop rapping.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Like
I
Jigga
mean,
can't.
I mean, he's not active.
Like Jigga
But look-
can't.
but
like
bro-
Jigga can't drop a flawless album tomorrow.
He's not active, though.
But bro, look at what happens when he does drop a kind of cool verse on Pusha T's.
Nah,
album.
we ain't there now.
I'm just saying.
Right, but in his defense,
You're only as good as your last 16,
Look,
buddy.
Yemi, his last album was amazing.
I know. it.
Last album was
and I love
amazing,
4-4.
yeah.
I love 4-4.
I never
for
loved
sure.
it.
What a bam
But
bam.
If Kendrick continues on this trajectory, it's going to be undeniable.
Telling you, Messi.
Artistically, it will be undeniable.
But then-
you might have your preference, but when you put Jay's catalog against Kendrick's catalog, when all is said and done, even if Kendrick doesn't make another album after this,
Which is an important point, by the way, because he might not.
I genuinely think
we
we're
might
never-
be waiting for a
we're
while.
never hearing from Kendrick
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
for the next
yeah,
5
we
years,
might be
man.
waiting for
This
a
is it.
while.
You're not
Yeah,
seeing him
yeah,
again.
yeah.
but you know, if we're going to be waiting a decade, listen, that album's going to be fire.
This album's already it surpassed Damn for me, and I love Damn.
It's 100%
It's
surpassed Damn.
Damn easily.
100%.
It surpassed Damn. easily.
100%.
I'm not ready to say
But
that.
then it's a bigger conversation because I think Damn's a classic. But
So what's generally been the feedback on Kendrick's album, like on social media? What
I think
people
that
say?
I think
You raise a
I
very
think rap heads.
It's been divided.
triggering point, Pete.
It's been very, very divided.
I think I saw Pitchfork rated It's Almost Dry higher than this. But
B dot goals,
but-
he'll give it
but-
4.5
But
max.
Pitchchor can S my D.
I think B dot B dot
forever,
goals.
forever.
Remember from the Mac.
Pitchfork has no
He'll
credibility
give
in
it
that respect.
4.5.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
4.5 max is
I
a
think,
crazy number.
look, I mentioned in my blurb at the start that Kendrick Lamar is polarizing, and I don't understand it. I do think like today, like the original or initial, I should say, response to any album these days is it's whack. Shout out Jack Harlow.
It's trash.
And maybe, because you know me, I'm cynical in many respects. Like maybe that's like the PR teams of these rappers like flooding Twitter with like, oh, this album's whack, so that people go and listen to it, right? Get the streams. But people were saying the usual stuff about Kendrick Lamar. He's preachy. He doesn't care about black people. He always talks down on us, etc., etc. But
he pissed off the LGBTQ.
he pissed off
some parts.
Yeah, he makes an album as beautiful. A song as beautiful as Auntie Diaries, and certain corners of LGBTQ plus community are saying like, the way that you are using pronouns is incorrect. The way that you use the word or the F word.
The whole song is
I think it was all deliberate though.
But
it was.
But when you have
it was
because my experience of the song is him, I guess, telling these tales to critique himself and society. And him using the incorrect pronouns, I think, is like showing the process.
Yes.
Because the last one, that's how I got it.
Yes. But you're a hip hop fan, and there are too many people who are writing about hip hop who don't know the fucking shit.
It makes sense. Because the last verse, I think he didn't even say the word. He didn't say the F word in that last verse because he showed you high school, elementary, high school, and now where I am.
Yeah.
The whole song's just about growth.
And then I read something where they were like, oh, Kendrick Lamar is walking us through his journey towards wokeness, and it's almost as if he's asking us to thank him or to congratulate him. And it's just like, like, being a rapper,
I don't know if I would, and this might be controversial, I don't know if I would equate the N-word with the F-word, though.
Nah. Pete, I don't know if it can happen.
I think it's just, I hear you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but...
Yeah, it's probably...
Both hateful terms, but...
One has got...
I don't know, man. I don't know that. So I didn't like Kendrick doing that. I knew what he was trying to do, but I wasn't feeling that too.
I felt more uncomfortable when it was like, the first time I fuck a white bitch was in Copenhagen.
Yo, I can't lie, No.
The way he kept on saying white bitch, I was like, I'm stressed. I don't know why. I'm not even a white woman.
I can't lie, it took me for, I can't lie to you, man. Imagine, no, listen, don't stop touching me. Nah, there was a bit, I can't lie, I was sitting there. It was like, sitting through. First time I fucked a white bitch, I said, whoa. And then I got over it, and he goes, second time I fucked a white bitch, I was in a Good Kid, Mad City tour. I'm like, in Copenhagen. I'm like, what's going on?
But again, it goes to show.
And it shows you the whole... Sorry, yeah.
But again, it goes to show, like, I personally didn't know, like, I didn't think Kendrick would ever get that personal on a record. But here he is, laying himself bare, stripping himself down to the bare bones, like, from start to finish. And it's, like, you just got to respect him. And I think, I mean, to get into my, like, opinion from start to finish, this album's fantastic. Conceptually, I think it might be his strongest ever because you see the growth from the beginning where he's still riddled with the survivor's guilt. He's still riddled with the, the savior complex and how much is, dimming his shine and stuff. And by the end of it, when he's like, I choose me, I'm sorry. And Mother I Sober, when he kind of just releases not only himself, but his whole family from generations of
that shit is so deep.
Disenfranchisement.
When the daughter comes through and says, thank you, Dad.
You can hear it.
Oh my God.
I can't listen to it.
Via all the tap dancing, which, to Peter's point earlier about, tap dancing around the subject, to Whitney saying you need therapy and all that stuff. You can hear it, man. It's a journey. Yeah. It is a journey from start to finish, man. I think United in Grief was a fantastic start. N95. Although I didn't like it at first, it grew on me.
Did the video make a difference?
That's my planking song.
Like, the video made a difference for you.
100% made a difference.
The video made a difference for me.
The video is so fire.
The video's gonna make you.
And I just appreciated the fact that.
I'll show you later, but it's definitely gonna.
I just appreciated the fact that it's just one of those songs where Kendrick was just having a little bit more fun, like Silent Hill as well. Like people have called Mr. Morale a kind of like companion album to Keen the Melodic Blue because there's a lot of like the same kind of musicality in some respects. I see that in N95 and in Silent Hill. Like it's just the ones where he can kind of just be a little bit more goofy. Like take it off.
But he was stepping.
Push the bitches off me like sort of thing.
He was stepping.
This shit hard.
Exactly. You out of pocket sort of thing.
Bitch, you out of pocket. No, he was stepping.
Worldwide Steppers.
Oof.
Ominous beat. Fantastic storytelling. Fuck the white bitch. All that good stuff.
Last time I fucked the white bitch.
I think the beat switching that song was absolutely...
man.
It was illegal, bro. Absolutely, and way too short. Why did he do that?
Way too short.
The way Kendrick uses his voice on the beat switches as well.
That beat switch was insane. Die Hard. Very lovely, sweet song. You know what I mean? It's just from start to finish, man. Like Savior. Savior is my tune.
Yeah, that beat.
You think
that beat
is not your savior.
Benaki. Oh, yo.
LeBron said, give him his respect. He's
the
not
way the
your
drums
savior.
come in. The way the drums come in, oh my days. And then Keem, are you happy for me?
Are you happy for me?
There's so many
Why is his voice like that?
Bitch, are you happy for me?
There's so many quables in this
Smile on my face, but are you happy?
Why is he saying like that?
I'm on the way. Are you happy for me?
I've never enjoyed him doing this, by the way.
That's how I imagine him doing his posture when he says it.
Are you happy for me?
Why is he talking like that, bro?
Bitch, are you happy for me?
Alright, cool, innit?
But even the interview leading up to that, where Keem was just going off, man.
Yeah.
Over the strings and
ridiculous.
Stuff. Oh man, fantastic. And again, the story.
You ever had your mom strung out while you doing Division? As soon as he said that bar, I was like, yo, Keem is about to spit.
he was about to spit. Man.
You know
I
what
just
song?
think-
You know what song had me in a chokehold? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Rich Spirit.
Fam.
Rich Spirit had me in a chokehold.
Yeah, man.
I can't lie to you. It had me. I was rinsing that song.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There was a few songs where it was like Crown,
Oof.
when I was like, not sure about this to begin with, but it grew on me. The song with Ghostface and Summer Walker.
What did you think about
Pepper
the
Hearts?
I told you when you listened to it that you weren't gonna like it. What did you think of it?
I like it.
What,
I
Pepper
thought
Hearts?
so. I thought you wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like
Ghostface
Ghostface.
verse. I
I
knew
didn't
you
like
wouldn't like
Ghostface.
it.
It was
I knew you
decent.
wouldn't like it.
It was decent. Nothing
It
crazy.
felt very acapella-ish.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
It was
song,
weird,
the beat was
yeah,
fading
man,
up
yeah,
towards
it was tacked
Ghostface's
on.
verse. I didn't really like
felt
that.
tacked on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
enjoy it.
Summer Walker did her thing though.
Yeah, she
I quite
sounded
like-
good.
I
She
quite
sounded
like that.
good.
Generally, I think the features did their thing, man. I mean, Sam Duke did his thing.
he kept it in house, right? It was pretty much like PG Lang.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And, you know, he just did his thing, man. I just think conceptually, in terms of his storytelling, like, he's rapping on another level as well. Like, just in terms of just the way he's able to deliver his lyrics, whether it's the vocal inflections, whether he's singing, whether he's straight up rapping, everything, man. I just feel like he took that time off to really, like, as much as he is like a guy who kind of goes away, throws his phone away and kind of looks at the world and kind of just like, like cancel culture this, da-da-da-da-da. It's with purpose. Like, he's always going to give you that nourishing stuff. Like, even in Savior, when he's calling out the rap game about, you know, bite their tongue in rap lyrics, scared to get crucified about a song, but they won't admit it, sort of thing. And he's calling out the rap game. He's calling out a lot of people and a lot of sections of society. And even in 95, where they like, take off this, take off that, take off this, take off that. It's like Mo said, like, he's putting a mirror against society and telling them, like, yo, this is what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But also, he's looking inward in the
That's
way
what
that
made
he's
it
never,
amazing,
in the
though.
way that he never has before as well. Like,
Yeah, he's
that-
balancing it.
But
Yeah,
that
exactly.
balance, though, I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen a rapper do that balance
Yeah,
so
man.
amazingly.
Yeah,
Do you know
man.
what it is to hold the world up against?
It's
This
important
is
to
you
say,
guys,
like,
but this is
you're-
also me.
I'm not perfect, but you're not either. It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's an amazing message.
to
like.
get
Exactly.
that, to get that balance.
Exactly.
And that's why, like, I'm so, like, conflicted, man, because, like, the content is there for me, man, but
The music is there as well.
I genuinely
trust.
think
the production was just a bit too too messy for me, man.
I
Just
genuinely think you just need to
throughout
give
the
a couple
album.
listens.
Maybe
It's
I
dark.
think-
It's a dark album. Like
That too.
there are very few sort of like even N95 is a dark song. Do you know what I mean? It's not. There's not really many high moments. There's nothing really colorful about this album as well. It sits in an area of deep introspection and it is dark.
I think Die Hard
So-
might be the
But I
one of the
love
only
that, though.
few
Yeah, maybe.
bounce ones.
Yeah, like maybe, but like, but yeah, I think
Can content ever be so strong to where it raises the overall quality of the album?
100%.
I think that's the
yeah,
album.
100%.
Is that the case here then?
it's like Nas albums.
It's like, but on the flip of that, I remember you were talking about Group Home's album and how Primo's
Why you got-
That was
production.
perfect. though. Can I just say, yo, that was perfect. That was perfect. That was perfect.
That's different though.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, what do you say?
said
Yeah, repeat that
that Group Home's album, DJ Premier's production, makes it a 3.5. For me, the default, if the bars and the content ain't there, the most you're getting is a 2.5. For me.
But
But,
when
you said that the beats make it even higher. So surely it can work the other way.
It's
as well.
different though, innit? Because what do we listen to first? The beat or the words?
I think the production always grabs
Depends on
you.
who you ask.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the production always grabs you.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's rare that you will listen to the lyrics first. Do you know what I mean? So that's why in this case I was so conflicted because the words are so potent, but the music for me just wasn't. You know what I mean? It wasn't the easiest on the ears for me.
Nah, I mean,
I'll be honest with you, bro. It took me 2-3 times before
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I know where I stand. The first time I listened to this album, I don't know where I stood. I was like, this was a lot. The second time I did, it took me about 3, 4, 5 listens for me to
Yeah.
go away and say, this is damn near flawless.
yeah. See, because
Like,
you, man, when I listened to it, I said to you guys, Yemi, are you gonna say it or am I gonna say it?
Yeah, and you got me shook when you said that as
and
well.
and I was just like, this guy is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But I then said, and this isn't even a classic, which I think speaks to kind of like the reservations I had about it when I first listened to it. But to your point, like, it's just like ironing out like crinkles in a shirt, bro.
Oh,
You listen
every
to it a
time.
few more times, and it's the easiest listen for
Every
me.
time I've
for
gone
me,
back-
it's just easy
And that's
to
the
listen
thing
to.
about Kendrick
now, like.
albums, like they're not designed just for a one listen. You have to.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to listen
layered. Like we're
multiple
gonna be picking
times.
up shit in a couple years. like.
Precisely.
What is
Loads of different motifs, loads of different like techniques he uses lyrically, like just like the sound, appreciating the production a little bit more as well with each listen. Like that's what Kendrick albums do, and that's what they're designed to do.
Yeah.
And he's the best at that, I feel.
Yeah,
Like.
So did he do it again?
he did it again.
Oh, he 100% did it again.
Not for me, man.
He 100% did it again.
What, classic?
Too early.
I love these
I
conversations.
think this time is too early. But
Well,
It's
It
a
doesn't
pretty
need, but
fantastic album.
look, I don't know if it's gonna be a classic, but I don't think it needs to be a classic.
at this point,
I think that's what I said last recording session. Not everything needs to be a classic.
It
It
doesn't-
can
it
just be a
doesn't-
really good album.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think Kendrick is, as I say,
But if we're using words like flawless,
yeah.
No one has said that.
Rich said it, me said it.
I don't think Nee said flawless.
I said it's a masterpiece.
Damn near the same.
I may have said it's flawless. I have to rewind.
Semantics in the rap game are
But
something else, man.
yeah, for
Semantics
real.
in the rap game.
And it's-
Can't lie, it really is, isn't it?
and
I'm
it's
like,
a
what's
If you say
flawless?
flawless and masterpiece, we're not
Yeah.
classic.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. I'm like,
And
are
it's
we
a completely
reserving it?
ridiculous conversation even to like talk about Jay-Z because like, you know, it's two different things, two different artists, two different types of music, etc., etc. Like,
That's what we do, innit?
but that's what we do in hip hop, right? It's like that's it. But it's maybe it will be a classic. Maybe we'll look at it as a classic as it goes into that fine wine phase, isn't it? But right now, it's just an absolutely phenomenal album that I'm gonna listen to when I leave you, man, tonight.
It's
Again.
that. Same.
I feel like what I
Make
love,
sure you're happy.
I think what I love a lot about this album as well is that he wasn't afraid to shirk away from controversy.
Yeah.
Like when it came to Auntie's Diaries, when it came to Mother I Sober, and you know, talking about him cheating on his partner and you know his mum's like,
Numerous
sexual
times
abuse,
too.
numerous times, his mother's sexual abuse.
Yo,
and-
he was a wild Donny.
Fam.
He was a wild Donny.
You seen Whitney as well, bro? Them shits is alright,
He was
bro.
alright.
Yeah.
He was a wild Donny in these
Yeah,
streets.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
He was
And-
a-
but here's the thing: you don't expect that from someone like him
Nah.
because you know people have created this image
Yeah,
of him
yeah,
of a
yeah.
guy who can do no wrong.
But that's what
And
I love
this
about
album
him.
is the
though.
perfect tonic for that.
Yeah, he's destroying all.
But
that.
that's what I love though, because he's like, you guys don't know me.
Yeah.
Like, and he's given us tidbits from before. Like I said in Good Kid when he was like, imagine me 16 killing someone. Like, you guys don't know what I've lived.
Yeah.
So he's given us tidbits where it's like, you guys stop acting like you know me. And I feel like this album was the one where it's like, here you go.
And the perfect example of that is us realizing that he had had a second child by putting on the album cover. That's Kendrick Lamar in a nutshell.
That he named Enoch.
Enoch. But I love that though. That's what I want my rappers to be like.
yeah.
I want my rappers
Yeah,
to have
man,
a mystique.
just-
Like,
yo.
I don't want to know you.
I knew he had the one. I knew they had a kid
Yeah, I
because
knew
I
he
got
had-
announced. But like I knew the second one, oh raw, she's breastfeeding the second baby.
And it's just the
Kendrick
way he-
Lamar's that guy.
Bro, with the strap,
And it's
even
something he
the
listens as
artwork,
well.
if
Yeah.
we're being honest, the artwork,
I love
even
it.
the
Fam,
artwork, if
gun
we're being
in the
honest,
back,
bruh, the strap in the
bruh,
back,
bruh.
and then there's another picture where he's got a shotgun and he's just there, bro. Everything about this, nah, I can't lie, he done did it.
Yeah, man.
I love
And
it.
it shows that even if he hides away without a phone 9 times out of 10, he listens. He sees the rap game. He sees what people are talking about when it as it pertains to him, and he reacted.
He took me left sometimes.
responded.
I can't lie, he took me left. Like when he brought up Kyrie, it took me for a left field.
Hell
But
yeah,
that
Pete.
verse is sick
Like,
though.
How did you feel about that verse, Pete?
I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
What do you
verse.
say? Something about
Yeah, man. He said
He
he
was,
got.
it was talking truth.
Yeah, he said he got it and he started questioning Kyrie,
now
That's
playing
real.
Pfizer for
That's
relief.
real.
which means he got it bad.
Peter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter,
Talk to me.
did you start questioning Kyrie?
Oh, I like that, Yemi. Yemi, that's a great question. Did you question Kyrie?
No comment.
He doesn't even need to answer. That laugh said it all. But boys,
Bro, this guy's in Ghana just chilling.
just chilling, playing FIFA. and that.
Chilling, bro.
Hey, man.
You know
Apparently
what
he's
people
making a
do?
film there.
You know what people do when the albums drop? That amount of promo people do. And this guy's in Ghana just living.
Chilling.
No, we've got a deep hit, bro. People do Hot 97, Power 103, Power
J. Cole
105,
went to
Power
Rwanda.
103, everywhere. And this guy's in Ghana
And
just
he
kicking
went
back.
Ghana.
And he made J. Cole go play basketball. You know it's a run man for a whole country. Yo, he ran. I love Cole. He ran Cole off the country. Goes play basketball somewhere.
In Canada, right?
You see what I'm saying? He ran him out the country.
Didn't he go Rwanda?
He's playing basketball again for
He went
another team.
Rwanda.
Oh, he's playing now for a
Yeah,
team.
nah, he got signed up.
Jesus
I think last
Christ.
week.
What's
No,
it like?
that's Kendrick though.
The Canadian
That was Kendrick.
League or something like that.
That was Kendrick. He signed up last week to play professional basketball for like 8-9 games. That's all Kendrick.
Sorry.
You've got
Still
it.
big stepping on this desk here.
But yeah,
For real, man.
my point is, bruv,
Fantastic album.
Salute to the GOAT.
I can't believe you
Favorite
done it
tracks,
again,
lads?
man. Oh, I've got bear.
Give me Father Time. We cried together. Mother,
Shout out to Taylor Page.
Mother Are
Sorry,
Sober. Auntie's Diaries.
Yeah, shout out to Taylor Page. On
Oh,
We Cry
Savior
Together.
as well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Taylor Page on that.
Yeah.
She
She's an
did her
actress,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah, she's not a rapper.
She was
not a
perfect for it
singer.
because I don't know if a rapper could have done
So
that.
my
man.
favorite tracks are
for real.
United in Grief, N95, Worldwide Steppers, Die Hard, Father Time,
Slapped
Rich
it in the whole
Interlude, Rich Spirit, We Cry Together, Purple Hearts, Count Me Out, Crown, Silent Hill, Savior, Savior Interlude, Auntie Diaries, Mr. Morale, and Mother I Sober, followed by Mirror.
So
I
you
knew he was
didn't
gonna go
just
through
want to
the
say the whole album.
I knew he was gonna go. As soon as he got to the third song, I was like, he's gonna go through the
Oh,
album.
he's petty. Don't mind him.
I hear that.
You're gonna
Yeah,
just say the
me?
whole thing.
I hear that.
Yeah, me top 5.
Worldwide Steppers, Father Time, Silent Hill, Savior, and Auntie Diaries.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with N95, Rich Spirit. I love Rich Spirit. I don't think you might understand. I actually love that song. Silent Hill, Savior, Auntie Diaries, and Mirror. But Die Hard and N95 as well.
N95, like,
N95 as well.
I just want to turn the table upside down.
But I've looped Rich Spirit the most. Like if I had to pick one song that after Father Time all that,
Yeah.
because Rich Spirit's an easy listen.
That's the one that
It's-
goes,
And that's the one when he goes something about
that one.
I'm Christ with a shooter, praise to Muhammad, I might nigga news, yeah.
Which I'm
Oh,
attracted.
Bitch, I'm a
That
yeah.
one.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
come on, fam.
Why
What
didn't
we
he
doing
pick
here?
up my singing when I?
I love cuz.
Oh.
I really like this
Shout
album.
out.
So
I'll work on
Really
it.
like this
I
album.
mean, might be a
Bitch,
futile
I'm
question,
attractive.
but where does Kendrick go from here?
PG Lang. I think it's one of the most exciting prospects in hip hop. I'll be honest. They are basically a cooler, more well-resourced, younger version of TDE, and I think that's frightening for everybody else. RT.
Yeah, man, are in trouble.
I think that they are going to sign some unbelievable artists, both new and active. I've seen like Brent Fayez, like links. I've seen obviously Baby Keem is there. I think the future of PG Lang is just limitless, yo.
Yep.
I'm genuinely excited about that shit.
I think we're not going to hear from Kendrick till about 2027. If I had to guess, I generally don't think 2027. But 2026 maybe, if we're lucky on a Good Friday. But
You know what though? Like, because of this new outlet, because
Nah,
of PG Lang,
bro.
he might need to put out an album
Bro,
on
I
them
already-
early doors.
that's what I'm saying. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, he might need to.
I've already got an itch
Him
to
or
hear
Keem.
Kendrick's
Him or
music
Keem.
again. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I've already got an itch. I'm like, I could do with new music.
So you got an
To be
itch.
fair, Keem
I've
will
got
probably
yo,
come first.
is that drug?
Keem will definitely come first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Keem will definitely come first. Yeah,
But
yeah.
with me, I think he's gonna go missing for another 5 years, man. What we
Yeah.
call Cambodia sign.
I don't know where he goes from here, man. Because even if he stops now and doesn't give us another album, he's going down as one of the greatest to ever.
Do you know what I'd like him to
So
do?
I don't really know, but wherever he goes, I'm open to it, man.
And I had a big debate with Johnny last night about this because Johnny was like, he's got basically no discernible bangers. And I almost banged Johnny in the mouth when he said that, actually. But with that in mind, I would love Kendrick to just release an album which is just full of like bangers. Like, just like, because he makes songs like Silent Hill, which we know when they come on in the spot is going to be fucking like, we're going to vibe in it. But I want there to be no doubt in anybody's mind about Kendrick's capabilities in that space. So I'd love him to release an album which is just like, you know what? You want the ones for the clubs. You want the vibes.
Here you go.
You want to mix in my tune with Amigos' tune and with them, man? I'll give you that. I want him to do something like that.
You think there's still doubts though?
Yeah. Yeah.
But do we care?
I
but
don't
then
think
can ask
so.
you a
I don't care because
But
I'm like,
then-
he
I
doesn't
don't
need
think
to
so.
make
But
bangers
do we
to me.
care though? I don't care.
For
to
me,
hear
for me,
Kendrick
I
in
don't
the
care.
club.
But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm going back to Peter's point about being petty. I want people to be wrong about these shit opinions.
Like you can't argue.
Yeah, I don't want there to be any doubts about this man anymore because people are still finding ways to doubt him and it's just crazy to me. So let's just give him a track of like 12.
There's no doubts, man. There's no doubts.
I don't know, man.
That's like me saying I want to hold a Drake straight rap album.
There you go. It's the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Exact same shit.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen, but
Bro,
whatever.
whatever Kendrick wants to do, I'm
Yeah, I think PG Lang is the future. Whatever he decides to do, it's going to be in the interest of them. And I think it's going to be amazing. In the same way that TDE was just kind of like controlling the game from like 2013 onwards, PG Lang has the potential to do that as well, I feel like.
Yeah. Mad exciting.
And we'll see what happens with that. And Kendrick, boy, when you're off again, but when you come back, it's going to be another culture shifting moment.
Enjoy Ghana, bruv.
Enjoy Ghana, man. Enjoy playing FIFA with the man.
hey man. Playing FIFA 2013 as well, but salute to him.
Absolutely. Salute to Kendrick. Salute to everybody who were involved on the album. Special shout out to Duval Timothy as well.
Oh,
Did bits.
What a guy.
Did absolute bits as well.
What a guy.
And yeah, man, just keep doing you, Kendrick.
Special
Sure,
special
man.
out.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic now, and we're going to talk about things a little bit closer to home. So recently, the great, critically acclaimed, award-winning Little Simz was getting ready to go on tour in the US and kind of just acclimate herself to that kind of crowd and that audience. And then, out of the blue, she tweeted the following. Hey guys, due to unforeseen circumstances, I've been left with no option but to reschedule my US tour. I take my live shows seriously. I would only want to give you guys nothing but the best of me. Being an independent artist, I pay for everything, encompassing my live performances, out of my own pocket, and touring the US for a month would leave me in a huge deficit. As much as this pains me to not see you at this time, I'm just not able to put myself through that mental stress. It's important for me to speak my truth about this and be honest. I appreciate the love and excitement you guys have for seeing me live. Rest assured, I will be there soon, back bigger and better. For now, I'm creating and working on art that I'm so excited about. Music, of course, but other things too, all leveling to greater heights. A message to all artists and creatives. Know your worth and stick to your guns. Love you all, Simz. And
Man.
yeah, and this tweet kind of ruffled a lot of feathers online because it kind of called into question the nature of the industry itself and the kind of hustle associated with being an independent artist and, you know, how much information we're privy to as far as like you know, how much they earn and how much they're able to do as far as independent artists, you know, where labels might be involved and stuff. So we kind of just wanted to talk about it now and just kind of talk about that grind and kind of dissect it a little bit. I think to start with, Simz, who has had a phenomenal year since dropping her last album, Simbi, you know, winning Ivor Novellas, winning Brit Awards and stuff. For her to kind of just tweet that is very heartbreaking, I'd say.
In a word.
In a word.
It was devastating, bruv.
Devastating. Yeah, it's a mad one. I just think that because she's officially blown. Like, she's not a household name yet, but she's getting to that status in a way. And it seemed as if everything was going right. All the stars were aligning, and she was getting ready to go to US and do good things.
One of the main characters in one of the biggest shows on Netflix at the moment.
Top Boy, yeah. It's mad. But what do we think about it, guys? When we all heard this news together, and I was like, it knocked me. I was just like, I mean, we all know that the plight of an independent artist is very, very different to somebody who is signed and backed by a big label, right? We know that. But I think it's like time that people start doing a little bit more research into who they support and the backing that the artists that they like actually have, and start putting money where their mouth is, because it's really high stakes out here. You can't have Simz, who isn't just, I mean, Yemi said she had a good year, but like, I described her yesterday as like one of the greatest artists we've had in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's one of the greatest ones, right? And she's not even peaked, which is scary, right? Like, she's got her proper her sound now. Like, she's got the awards to back up the sound, and on the face of things, the acclaim. But one thing people need to realize about this fucking shitty industry, the music industry, is that it's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? Right? It's all just image for the most part. You have to support your artists. You have to support them. Find out if the artists that you love are independent or not. And if they are independent, you have to buy their things. Find their Bandcamp and cop a ting. Find their website, cop a hoodie. Go to iTunes instead of the streaming sites. Buy the album. If you want to listen to the album on streaming sites as well, that's fine. I understand that's like more, common. But you actually have to buy a physical copy, because that typically goes directly into their pockets after the iTunes of the world take their split. It's high stakes now. We are going to lose artists like Little Simz, either because she decides to quit herself and do something different, maybe just take her acting more seriously, or we'll lose her in authenticity terms if she then decides, I can't do this alone anymore, I'm going to go and sign with a label who can potentially contort her whole thing. And Little Simz isn't making albums like Sometimes I Might Be Introvert anymore. So people need to do more. People need to do more for their independent artists. They need to do more for their independent podcasters, video makers, photographers, writers. Come on, like, just buy shit.
I think it's always been a case of us needing to do more to support our artists, man. I don't think this should be a new conversation. So I don't really understand why this is now something that's all of a sudden been blown into our faces. This has always been the case.
Because she's huge.
The industry has always been shaped the way it is. Obviously, it's changed since, bootlegging, online bootlegging really became a thing with the LimeWires and the FrostWires, and then, Steve Jobs started doing his thing, and then streaming sites started doing their thing and that. Obviously, that's changed the way things are set up, but at the same time, like, things have always been as they are. We've always needed to support the artists to ensure, especially the independent ones, to ensure that they are being supported enough where they can still support themselves and provide us with the quality music that they do. So why is it now that this is in the consciousness of everyone?
Because she's
it should have always been in the consciousness of everyone, though.
What is it when you break the fourth wall? Because we didn't know what she was going through. We could
She
have guessed.
she ain't the first one.
Yeah, but we could have guessed. But it's the first time we've seen it in our face to where I can't even do this show.
Especially
because
in the UK, especially.
Yeah.
That's the caveat. In the UK, we haven't really had this problem. Like, especially someone who has been staunchly independent all her career, now getting to a new stage of like acclaim and fame and accolades, them being so open and honest about her financial situation and how it's stopping her from being able to do what she wants to do. We've never really seen that in the UK. We've seen it in music, but in terms of the UK, where the scene is still growing, this is fairly new, and this is why people have reacted in the way that they have. It's obviously a tragedy. I I wonder, like, I don't know. I feel like with this, it got to a point where she kind of discovered that she couldn't afford this. Like, where was her team to tell her that before? Where was her manager to tell her this before? Where was the label to tell her this before?
Maybe she could have before, just something came up.
Maybe. Or maybe she was banking on something. Maybe she was banking on like a brand deal that fell through or something, whatever. Because traveling to the US, like, astronomical costs, especially if you're an independent artist. So maybe something fell through. But even still, like, if there was any one inclination that you couldn't afford it, like, kind of why go through with it, sort of thing. At least that's how I thought about it initially. But I tweeted about this when I first saw it, and I was like, it just shows how smoke and mirrors the music industry is, because a lot of people will look at that and think this shouldn't be happening to someone like her. But that's the smoke and mirrors. People who, in your mind, and like looking at them, are successful, winning awards and all this stuff, should not be having this problem, even if they're independent or not. And the thing with Simz is, she signed to an independent label, AWOL, but clearly they do not have the funds to be able to even advance her anything for the tour, because again, transport, like equipment, her team, her band, all the setting and all the background that she wants to do as well. It's a lot of money, so it all adds up. So I just think generally, like, and this is nothing on her, I think there's a failing somewhere in terms of like internally. It should have never got to the point where she has to tweet out, I can't afford this because of the mental.
See, you say that, but I'm looking at it from another perspective, man. I think there's something about us as consumers that needs to shift as well.
100%.
We have a privilege of, you know, being so detached from the process of the artist making the album and putting it out, and that where we can decide that we're going to bootleg the thing just because, as long as we get the product. But I think depending on the type of consumer you are, man, I think it's very important that you care about the artist, man. It's not just about the products that you're getting from them. You should really care about what goes into receiving that product, man, because you don't know what they're having to go through to produce that music, man.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think I'm looking at it from that perspective. Like, we have to, the shit that we need to do.
100%.
Yeah. And we're not to be blamed. We're not to be blamed for having this mindset, because as you mentioned, Steve Jobs and the powers that be, they have single-handedly over the course of the last 15 years devalued music, right, to the point where people don't feel like music has actual value anymore. It's just like something I enjoy. They don't understand the hours that go behind it, the production, the intelligence, the vocal capacity, the writing process. They don't know any of that. I don't give a shit.
And a lot of it's throwaway as well.
Yeah, and a lot of it is throwaway. We're living in ultimately still a singles era, right? Everything is about the single. So I'm not blaming the average consumer. We're all like hip hop heads. We get it, right? Like, you know, you guys obviously know me, and I made music, so you understand from a real direct perspective of like the independent struggle, so to speak. But to Peter's point, I don't know if we can use that as an excuse anymore, right? Like we have to get back to buying things. We have to start putting.
But is that unrealistic though?
No, it's not. And the thing is, like, I think it's also like the way that the world is going to go, irrespective of this recent news about like Drake renewing his contract with Universal or getting that new deal. There are going to be a number of artists who do go independent, and I think the future is it's going to be sort of like a more direct to consumer model for a lot of your artists. So I think it's going to swing back anyway, and people are going to have to start buying directly anyway. So get ahead of it. Get ahead of it now. Like, Simz isn't the most out there extra TikTok-y artists. So we're now saying that if you're not doing the most on socials, you're just basically going to be forgotten about. Imagine if an American artist who won a Grammy wasn't able to do like a European tour.
Exactly.
That's basically what's happened here. A British artist has won a Brit. Primetime television. Everybody's seen her. She invited her mum on stage. And she couldn't then do a US tour. It wasn't going to be like Madison Square Garden followed by wherever, you know what I mean? It was going to probably be smaller shows. And maybe there is an issue with finances at her label, and there is negligence across the board. But irrespective, she should have more money in her pocket. And that should come from consumers.
It made me think about like streaming and how much money the artists make from streams. And if it's not that sufficient, why artists continue to put their music on these streaming sites?
Because no one's going to buy them.
Yeah, it's reach.
Why can't they do it direct to consumer, man? A lot of these. Simz, how many followers on how many followers on Instagram does someone like Simz have?
Probably few hundred thousand, maybe.
What?
They're not going to download another app. Kanye tried that. No one done it. Respectfully, if Spotify and Apple Music have made things so simple to where if you decide not to put your music on here, a lot of the consumers ain't gonna be bothered to search for it.
Even flipping the Black Star album on the Luminary.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
And
yeah.
has any of us
we
got,
weren't
have,
trying to
has
do
any
that.
of us gone to look for it?
I've got the album, no?
Have you gone to listen to it?
Did
I
you
haven't
go
listened to it yet.
Did you go on Luminary?
If it was on Spotify now, if it was on Spotify, we would have heard it by now. We would have had a conversation about it.
Bro,
At
most
some point,
Def
I think-
shook your hand in Madrid and you didn't even buy his shit.
Did you? Did
No, I didn't want to
Ah.
buy it. I don't want to listen to Black Star in 2022.
What?
I'll be honest.
That's a conversation.
That's a conversation for
Another day.
another day, isn't it?
But yeah, I think because streaming is so easy now, and it's very much the common thing now, to where you don't have to buy anyone's album, you don't have to buy their merch, you don't have to do. It's all ease of access. We are so conditioned now to have that ease of access and have that like availability of music at our fingertips without even having to do anything, not even having to lift up your card and put your details in to buy something. Like that's just the way now. Like if it's almost to the point where if you don't follow that way, you're gonna get left behind, sort of thing. So it's all well and good for Simz to do something like put her stuff on Bandcamp and all that stuff, which is what a lot of independent artists do. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not going to reach an audience that would have been able to allow her to be able to go on a US tour, sort of thing. She might be making good money, but the exposure is also important as well. You've got to balance that out as well. There are so many artists these days that have to have that social presence as well as making music in order to be relevant. Like have a TikTok, be on Instagram, just be active in order to stay in the consciousness and stay in the zeitgeist. Simz isn't really that, even though she kind of is because she's got Top Boy and she's got a lot of different things going on, but it's still not the same sort of thing. So with her and with a lot of artists, I don't think the direct-to-consumer thing would be as effective.
That's true.
Personally.
That is true. You have to have a really, really strong cult following.
And I feel like a lot of people won't.
Which
What
she
do-
kind of
what
does,
do-
but she kind of
But I
does.
don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people follow.
What do you think she meant when she was like, artists know your worth?
Maybe someone tried to sign her, innit? And she wasn't going for it.
Yeah, I think there was something in that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like someone might have tried to sign her and it wasn't worth what she felt that she's worth.
The reason why I ask is because it's a weird thing to say, like when you're announcing that you can't do your own tour because of your funds.
But you know how
Maybe-
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I presume record labels are like leeches. The minute they hear something like that, they're gonna jump on her now. Especially with what we said about Simz, she's won so many awards. The minute you find out she can't now afford her tour, the record label will come and be like, "Ah, we got you. We'll fly you out
Or
now."
maybe people have been offering
So to-
solutions for her
yeah.
to kind of not dumb down, but
She
kind
must have
kind of
exhausted-
strip down her tour to the point where she didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because it's not in line with what she wants to do artistically.
Yeah.
So maybe it was that. Maybe it's another meaning. I kind of see that know your worth thing as like it's mad generic now because loads of artists use it. So whenever I hear that, I'm just like, okay, all right, bro, I see what this is.
It's real raps though, isn't it?
It is real rap, for sure, and people
I
need
like
to
you
hear
said
it.
that.
And
Definitely
people need to
real
hear
rap.
it, but for someone who's in the know and knows how hard it is for independent artists to just exist,
Yeah.
saying that it doesn't mean anything to me, but it means a lot to people who are
Yeah.
actually listening and watching from afar, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
How much impact do you think her going through that will have on other artists when they are deciding between being independent and signing?
What a
I
question.
think it comes down to each artist and how successful or where they. It just comes down to where they want to go.
Yeah, because Yem said it was smoke and mirrors, and a lot of artists that are independent probably wouldn't think that someone like a Simz would go through that. So from their perspective, they might be thinking, "Yo, if Simz is going through,"
But it
that,
depends though. What if you're
Well, a lot of
what if you're
independent
Central
artists
C?
still got like side hustles. People still work
I think
retail or whatever. They still have office jobs and stuff.
It depends who you are. Look at Central C. Central C, I think, is independent, right?
No, he's a plant.
Every time this guy comes on,
My point
this
is,
guy-
every time this guy comes on the pod,
my point is, if he is independent, I don't think he'll be looking at it as that just because
He
the
has help.
type of music he makes.
Yeah.
He makes music so it'll come everywhere, so he can sell out wherever he
has
sells
help.
out. I just think for Simz, I just think it's honestly just the way the record labels are all set up to where you don't get paid off streams. And if that's the majority of source of her income is from streams and there's nothing else, how do you expect that
it
to
also
fund the
depends on
tour?
what you want out of music. I think like a lot of like rappers, especially when they're young, they come into the game and they get a record deal. They look at that money as a quick come up, and they take it and they run and they do whatever they want to do with it. For a lot of people, that's still very much appealing, and record labels are there to kind of satisfy that, and that's fine. For people who aren't that way inclined and value the independent grind, being able to own everything you do, own your publishing, all that good stuff, the independent grind is a lot more feasible, even though it's more tough, because at the end of the day, the reward is greater, and it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey to the destination rather than the actual quick Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And maybe this came one album too soon, you know? Maybe she needed to make another. Sometimes I might be introvert and win a bag of new awards.
That's a slap in the face, though. Bro.
No, bro. It's just a moment of humility. If I'm playing devil's advocate, maybe it just came too soon because your fame in the UK doesn't necessarily equate to your fame abroad. Maybe she wanted to do this massive grand scale tour of the US when in reality, to Yemi's point, she needed to do something a little bit more stripped back for the first one. Right, the first one doesn't have to be this big hoo-ha. And one thing that's interesting to me as well is like tours get announced like months and months in advance. So presumably tickets would have gone on sale early doors, right? And you would imagine that the ticket money would have contributed to the setup of the shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, to my point about it being too soon, maybe they just didn't sell tickets. Maybe that was one of the reasons why they weren't able to get the show off the road that they wanted. So there is an element of, obviously my big speech is about buy fucking independent artist shit, right? That's the main thing that people need to take away from it as far as my opinion goes. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, maybe it was too soon.
And to that
For her
point,
to go America.
Yeah.
and to that point, like obviously she dropped Grey Area in 2019, and that put a lot of eyes on her, but not to the same level as like Simbi would have.
This is the one.
It kind of set her up, sort of thing. So maybe she did need a bit more time to be able to do this sort of thing. Or if she's not willing to strip it down or compromise in any way, then yeah, maybe you could have like chilled for a little bit and seen what happened, and then kind of generated a buzz a little bit more, sort of thing. I know she's been out in America. She performed. I think she performed on like Stephen Colbert or like the Tonight Show or one of them.
I think she done the Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon's.
Might have done Jimmy Fallon's as well. So like, there's consciousness
Yeah,
there.
like even Dave. Dave is recently doing the North America tour, right? But they weren't big shows.
He
and
brought out Drake as well.
It was a small diminutive thing, yeah. But I think that venue wasn't a huge thing, right? And obviously he came out because he was in Canada. But like, even Dave, who is arguably much bigger than Simz, right? Like, even he has to say, look, my plans for today are probably.
But do we know what the venues were?
No.
Do you know what I mean? So in her defense, she might not have tried something big,
Yeah.
and it just didn't work.
Maybe.
And unfortunately, that's just the
Yeah, I
part
mean, it's
and
either
parcel of
that
being in
or like the length of time she was trying to be out there.
Where did she go from here though?
Where did she go from here? Back to the drawing board, I guess. Like she's just going to continue doing what she's going to do. Like she said,
give herself more time.
yeah, exactly. She's still in the lab. She's still creating. She's still making music and stuff. So I think the next job is going to be important as well for being able to open her up to that audience a lot more. And I feel like this story is kind of like the story generally of UK artists trying to go to America. Like it's very much like you have to be somebody in order to get there.
Or have a huge cosign.
Yeah, exactly. Even Skepta, who had cosigns, you can't really say he broke it that much. You can't really say it, and that's Skepta. Dave is only now going to North America, sort of thing.
I think Stormzy's the only one I know that done shows out there.
Even Chip struggled. This guy was signed to an American.
He got signed to T.I., innit?
I mean, Chip was
I
already.
think Burna Boy was obviously not a UK rapper, but Burna Boy did Madison Square Garden, but it was like the smaller room, and he is a global superstar. Like, so
It's
there's
gonna take a while
something
for
about
us.
that US
Yeah, for
market
us.
where you gotta be.
So
You know what I
beast,
mean?
You got to be one of the ones, and it's gonna take a little while. Do you
So
know what I
maybe
mean?
it came too soon for her.
No, but I do think she could do little shows out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? So it just comes down to the venue she picks.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
managing
think-
your own expectations and that,
100%.
right? Like,
But it's gonna take us a while for us to go out there regular.
I just hope it doesn't dishearten her, right? Like, she still has a lot to offer.
I think she knows.
On multiple
she
fronts, right? Like we know we got another season of Top Boy to come, at least. We know that she's gonna make new music, hopefully. Maybe the stars will align us slightly differently next time. But yeah.
Yeah, that. Final thoughts? If any?
Sims, man. Honestly.
Yeah, like
Support independent.
We're gonna
artists.
it's a sad story,
We're
man.
gonna support.
Like,
We're always
it
gonna
is.
support.
It's
Sims.
deflating.
But
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
that's the best word to use.
Because nobody wants to see anybody go through that, whether you like the artist or not. And this is someone who has grinded for the longest. I remember listening to one of her songs in like 2014, and that's when I discovered her. And she's been grinding since then. So for this to happen when she's like her fame is crystallized in a sense, very disheartening, very deflating. But you know, Sims, like whatever you decide to do, we definitely support it. You'll get to the US very, very soon, and you'll be all the better for it.
Yeah, one of the
'Cause
goals.
you would have learned this. You would have learned this lesson. It might have been a harsh lesson, but you would have learned it, and you would have strategized, and come back better for the next time. So salute to Sims.
Hey man, she's one of the goats.
You got.
I hear that.
I was gonna say a really bad joke.
No, go through.
Go true.
She's out of pocket.
I like what you done there.
Man.
I know what you done there. I actually like what you done there.
Sky.
Can I join in or not?
Nah, don't.
Can I join in or not?
Nah, don't join in, man. Don't encourage that, bro.
Can't join
Don't
in.
touch me, innit?
I can't join in.
Don't touch me.
I can't join
innit?
in.
Nah, don't join in.
She out of park.
All right, we're going to move on now to the final topic, and we are running a topic back. So, way back in episode 3, quite controversially, we did a topic, what London area has produced the best MCs? Very, 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 very heated. It got to a point where 2 of us in the room, I won't say who, not me, we're going to swing at each other at any given point. But we decided now to, as it's now 2022 and now it's 2019, we're going to run it back for the 2022 edition. So we're going to go through North, East, South, and West.
Okay, you've answered my question.
And we are going to decipher who has produced the best MCs. And if we've got a bit of time in the end, we'll go for the specific area as well, which is what Mo's been harping on about.
Area is very, very evident.
Should we just like start off by saying that there's the West ain't nothing to talk about?
No, let's move on.
Yeah,
on.
like
AJ
obviously,
Tracy.
like, shout out to
Yo,
West and
AJ
that,
Tracy.
but yeah, I mean,
West- AJ Tracy.
Let's move
and
on.
Central C as
Big
well,
Zoo,
innit? Like,
Fredo,
Yeah,
Central
me.
C, and
Yeah, me.
Dig-
Let's move on.
and Diggity.
yeah, no, let's move
Can
on.
I just finish their names?
Them man don't even
No,
finish
no,
your top
no,
4,
let
fam.
me
Let's
move
move
on,
on.
let's move on,
Fine.
let's move
I'll go
on.
to North
Shout out
West.
to those guys.
Yeah, I'll go
innit?
to North West before I go West.
Oh, Digga D's on that list?
Dig D's on that.
Alright, let's be nicer, innit?
Why?
Oh, shut up, man.
Them man,
Why?
I don't even know why I said that.
Is Digga D
I
meant to
don't
be?
fuck with your artists, bro.
Bro, me neither, man.
Yeah,
That man-
nah,
that
He makes good music.
London too small for that.
Fam, that man
makes
scare
cool
me,
music,
bro.
Yeah.
Alright, respectfully, let's move
yeah.
West
Alright,
out
cool.
all the way out of the way. All
All
the
right,
way.
Pete, we'll start with you.
Yeah. If I'm being biased, then I'm going to say South, innit?
You said that again. Yeah, you did that.
And the reason why I'm going to say South is because we got Gigs, Dave,
Can we just hear him say we?
yeah, we,
continue.
Novelist, Young's Tef, Stormzy, Dot Rotten, P Money, Roadside G's, Krypton Conan, So Solid, Shabo, Tiny Temper.
So solid from South.
Yeah.
Bruv, you know that.
Apologies.
You know what I mean? So if I'm being biased, I'm
Put it
going to
from
say
Northwest,
South,
bro.
innit? But objectively, I'm going to say East.
Okay.
I don't
Do you want to
think-
run
I
through
don't-
East?
Yeah, East. East have got Kano, Getz, Dizzy, Tinchy Strider in the Rough Squad, Wiley, Merkston, DW.
Is this like an overall list or is this a list of active rappers, please?
J Huss? This is an overall list.
Okay. Man drew for the Tinchy Stride. I was like, what?
Don't do that.
He's in the
Last time
studio.
I saw him was on Celebrity Big Brother.
He's in the
He's
studio.
a legend.
He's in the studio. He's cooking.
Tinchy's a
He's
legend.
cooking.
You say he's cooking.
Why you got to do
He's cooking.
What's he
Tinchy
cooking?
is cooking.
I saw a picture of him in
The
the studio,
album
innit?
they've all been waiting
What's
for.
he cooking?
Something.
I'll throw my hat at your head, fam. Don't tell me.
You
Tinchy.
still vibe to Underground, man.
Yo, that tune
Huh?
is fucking fire.
There
That's
you
a
go,
classic,
man.
yo.
There you go,
Let me break
man.
it.
Have you
Nah,
got
I'm
a
gonna
list
show
of
you how we do it on the
Underground.
Have you
Yeah,
got
that was a
any
banger.
rappers in the area?
Harmonies, bro.
Dum, dum,
So you said
dum,
East?
dum, dum.
Huh?
East, yeah?
Yeah, I'm saying East, man.
I feel you, bro.
I actually love Tinchy, to be fair.
Who's gonna go next?
So, Pete mentioned quite a few, which I quite liked in the South. I'm going to add Russ Millions. He's from Deptford. I'm going to add Ty, R.I.P.
Say
Rest in
Russ.
peace.
Loyal Kana wasn't mentioned. You did mention Stormzy, Krypton Conan, Dave, Young's Teflon. But what I also want to do is make a shout out. You mentioned a couple of them. I want to make a shout out for the women. Turns out the biggest women in the game are all from Southeast as well. And for that very reason, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not shitting on my people. And with that, I mean Shaibo, Darko, Miss Banks, and Any are all from Southeast London.
I mean, I'll take Sims
South
off
London.
all of them, but what do I know?
So for that very reason, I'm
need
going to
it?
say
Yeah,
South.
I'm gonna use it.
Obviously,
back.
notably, it's important to add that North are fantastic. You've got Sims, you've got Akala, Ocean Wisdom, you've got Nux, Skepta, Chip, Tion Wayne, Heady, Nines, Unknown T,
Rich.
and an MC who doesn't quite get enough respect from North London. Might be a slight postcode thing, but I think you should claim him. KSI.
Are you actually rocking it? Because I was with you.
Is KSI from North?
Is KSI even
I thought it was from
London,
like
bro?
Peterborough or
Who's
something.
KSI, the black boxer?
And he's technically from Watford, but
Ain't he the
okay.
gamer?
He, whatever he is, bro. He don't
yeah,
count him.
yeah,
He's
so the
technically.
hey,
You
tell him
know
go
who
wait.
writes-
You not heard
And I was with
KSI's
you. I looked at you in your eye.
You ain't got KSI's bars.
Cuz.
You ain't heard him.
You know who writes it?
If you take one life, you recite KSI,
KSI.
right now. One life,
who writes his
rich.
bars?
KSI.
God.
Who? Sway. What? Sway writes his bars.
Oh, swear.
Sway is his ghostwriter.
Mazzoline.
How'd you know?
Rumblings.
That's crazy.
Sway from North.
Are you going to claim him or not?
I'm KSI.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Why?
There's no chance.
That's
There's
rude.
no chance. I think it's from Wood Green. There's no chance.
He's from Watford.
No, it's Sway.
Oh. Sway's from North, isn't he?
Yeah, Sway's from. I believe Wood Green.
so, yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
Wood
yeah,
Green.
yeah. So I'm sticking
used to
to
see
South on this. I think we're doing things.
We're definitely doing.
You
things.
lot have the bigger numbers. I think we've got the better rappers. When you look at the Chipmunks, the Wretches.
It depends on how you want to look at it. If you're
Skepta.
looking at it for heritage,
Yes.
then maybe not. Even though we've got hella heritage.
We've got the active ones though.
You lot got
And
the
we've got
active
the
ones,
active
but I'm saying just for rapping, when you put pen to paper, we've got the best rappers.
Who are the
Yeah,
best-
you lot
who-
could keep.
No, you don't.
What do you say?
Who are they?
Kano alone is taking out North.
Kano's not taking out Wretch.
Yes, he is.
He's
He absolutely is.
from East as well.
In his
You said
sleep?
South, right?
We didn't mention
I
South.
said East.
Alright, cool. You said East. What are you saying?
the most famous East London rapper. We didn't mention as well.
Who's that? Wiley.
21 Savage.
I had him on my list.
What are we doing?
I've got him on my list. I've got him on my list.
What are we doing?
I've got him on my list.
What?
This guy's from Bankhead, and you want to give me East London?
He's from Newham.
He's from Newham.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He don't count.
He's
We're
from
not about to
Newham.
count him, bro. Because therefore, where's Slick Rick from?
He was born and raised in Newham.
Slick Rick's he's from South
Then
actually.
he became an Atlanta blood. Came
He
back
was
to London at
born
12
in
for a
Newham.
funeral, but then went back.
Why do you know this?
You vibe out to 21 Savage?
Research.
I'm not giving you 21 Savage, by the way. I'm not.
Feel you.
I'm not.
For me, it's East.
Okay.
Simply for Dizzy, D Double, Kano, Gets. I mean, if you want to add Tinchy there, cool. J Huss,
that-
Rough Squad, Koji Radical, Pot of Paper, Unknown T.
Bro, that's not over
Hoxton.
heady. Tion.
He's from Hoxton?
Yeah.
Wow, people are from Hoxton.
That's slightly north.
Phil,
That's slightly north. By the way,
Fam.
Hoxton is
I was
Hoxton-
gonna say, I was
Yo,
gonna say,
get me. Hoxton's slightly north.
Is it?
Hoxton's slightly north.
Nah,
It's a
it's
big. It's a
slightly east
conversation.
though as
I'm
well,
telling you now. It's actually like slightly north.
I think it's East. Man.
Like Dalston, Hoxton is
I
slightly
mean,
north.
he
Wallahi.
says he claims East.
Alright, then he could go to hell.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I take that back. Actually, I don't know why I said that.
But, I mean, East has also got range as well, because obviously you got J Hush, you got Kojo Funds, you got Young Bane as well, got Max Star, got Trim.
Max Star. Not letting him do Trim.
You say Max Star.
Trim.
You know who Max Star had beef with?
They
Double
call
S.
me Trim when I'm
Yeah,
here.
you said
Remember
that.
Double S
You
had,
said that on
Double
episode
S
3
had
as well.
beef with Max
Maxwell was
Star.
hard.
Yeah, Double S washed
Mo
him.
Stack as well.
Double S. He's from Wood Green.
No Stack.
Mo Stack's from Wood Green.
Thought he was from East.
Nah, he's from North. He's from Wood Green.
Oh, fair
Look how you try to pinch people. Because you're a criminal. I'm saying North wins, and it's not very close. if
Why are you
really
not claiming
look at it.
KSI?
What did you say?
Why are you not claiming KSI?
Why are we still on KSI?
Because like, the way you just claim my man, Mostak, like, why didn't you give
Because
that
we're
love
not.
to
Let's not do
KSI?
that. We're not about to compare Mo Stack to. Let's respect Mo Stack, fam.
I don't know, man. KSI did them numbers, bruv.
I can't name you a
KSI's doing
KSI
mad
song,
numbers.
bro. Yeah, me. Can you name me a KSI song?
None of us can.
Lamborghini.
There's no way a song's called Lamborghini.
Disgusting.
Hey, man.
You're nasty.
I used to watch his
But
YouTube set.
I'm still going with North. When you got a Carla, Sims, Wretch, Scorcher, I'm always gonna ride with the best rappers. And Wretch is in everyone's top 3.
No, he's
top
not.
five.
He's
Who's
everyone?
Absolutely.
If we're talking
not.
just lyricism, Wretch should be in your top 3.
Nope.
If not, it's clearly biased. Give me 3 rappers that are better than Wretch.
Kano gets Wiley.
Wiley's not a better rapper than Wretch. bro.
Wiley's
What
not
are we
better than
doing
Wretch,
here?
bro.
What are we doing here?
Wiley's not better.
See, you're even smiling because you can't hold it in. You're even smiling.
Kano gets
Your lips move.
Kano gets Sims.
Okay, seriously from North. I'll take that.
I don't know if Sims is better than Wretch, bro.
But my point, okay,
I don't
cool.
think
Seeing as you said
I don't
Sims,
really-
I think
we
Wiley's
agree Wretch
pen
and
is
Sims are
slept
in
on.
your
I've
top
decided
5.
I don't really rate Rich that much, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Wiley's
you're a
pen is
hater.
slept on.
And I feel like it's because of me.
Wiley's pen is slept on.
Wiley's not a better rapper than Wretch, bro. We're not about to lie like that. We're not about to lie like that.
It's not a lie, though.
What, that Wiley can rap better than
It's
Wretch?
not wild. It's not a wild
It's a
statement.
wild take.
It's not
like
wild.
wild.
No, you
like
man are
it's not
sleeping on
wild.
his
wild,
It's
bro.
not
Like
wild
you,
take.
if we're being honest here, football wise, you mean I comparing Morientes to Prime Fernando Torres?
Stop it.
Nah,
Stop
don't
it. Stop
do
it.
that.
Stop
Okay,
it.
cool.
Stop
Then
it.
it is what it
crazy.
is. I
That's
said what I
crazy.
said and I
Stop
mean
it.
what I say.
Stop it.
You know who Wiley is? Who was that guy? You remember Luis Garcia?
Yeah.
That's who Wiley is if you want to compare him to Wretch.
Nah, we ain't
Stop
doing
it.
And you know who Wretch is? Xabi Alonso.
Stop it.
Remember Luis Garcia will give you 1-2 goals.
Stop it.
And he'll gas you, man, in the Champions League.
Stop doing that.
We're not about to compare the two.
Stop doing that.
I think personally we've got 3
How
out of
the
top
mighty
5.
have fallen.
I
Look
think
at
when
how
you've
people
got,
are talking about Wiley now.
I think when you've got arguably the GOAT is Skepta, arguably the
Mad
GOAT,
revisionist, isn't it?
arguably the GOAT in
Crazy.
Wretch, you got arguably the female GOAT in Sims.
But what are we
What we
talking
doing
about
here?
when you say Skepta? Because Skepta's... Okay, look. let me
Skepta
not-
has
let
to
me
be
not-
top
let me
5.
not-
Skepta has to be top
Rapper.
5. Skepta has to be top 5. We're just where when, like you said with Jay-Z, when you encompass everything, Skepta has to be
Well, we're
from
talking about
production.
bars
Okay,
here, right?
everything
What'd you say?
fine. I'll give
We're
it
talking
to
about
you.
bars here, right? You can't put Skepta in the same
Are we talking
league
about
as
just
any of
bars
these
though?
people. I thought we were.
Then you're not about to give me South.
KSI, bro.
You're not about to tell me South can rap like that. How many rappers
I mean, we
does
can.
South have? How many rappers
Bro,
does
Dot
South
Row
have?
and P Money are clearing a lot.
Black
of
Twang.
Can't lie to you, I listened to Dot
Young
Row since I
Stephen.
was in about year 8.
Blade
But-
Brown.
Okay, Blade Brown was my guy. I mean,
Black
I could
Twang,
go, then I
Roots
can say Joe
Maneuver.
Black. How far back are we going? Because Joe Black was nice.
Blade Brown was nice. Though.
Not better than Joe Black. He was not nicer than Joe Black.
Where's
In my
English
opinion.
Frank from?
English Frank.
Yeah.
Why you just?
Why'd you just...
Where's he from?
Okay, but
He
my
sounds like
point
he might
is,
have been from East or something.
I'm sticking with
Big
North.
Chest was from
and
South,
if we
bang.
double it down, Yemi, what I'm saying is if we double it down and we want to go even smaller,
wrong with you?
Dave can bar.
my point is, what I'm saying is, I'm saying North. But if we want to double down and just pick a postcode.
Are we all voting?
Novelist can
Tottenham
vote.
Because we're not getting into the single.
Does that make sense?
We're not really getting into the actual artists. We're not supposed to be getting
No,
into
bars.
the actual artists, right?
Purely
Just
bars.
bars.
No, what I'm saying is we're meant to be getting into like the collective ends, right? The collective part of.
Yeah.
If we're
No,
talking
no.
about just a part of
How are
an
we gonna do
area,
this? We're gonna vote or
then
what?
Tottenham wins to me. You
I'll
can't
get
give me a
South.
bare area.
I'm going East.
I'll say East.
So Tottenham's fighting the whole of East. Look at
So
life.
you could go south and draw this thing. You could tie this for me.
I'm going north.
Oh, okay, I guess.
I'm
the
always
East
So East
going
wins.
I'm
I
always
guess
going
the
north.
East won then.
East wins. But when I'm talking about a postcode, what postcode brings out the
You
best
keep
rappers?
saying that.
It's N17 to N15.
I don't think that's as much a debate
Nah.
for the mainstream as it is in your
Nah.
head, buddy.
In my head, by the way, that's the debate.
Like,
That's the debate in my head.
no one's like, which postcode?
No, yeah,
it's E3.
Daniel.
It's E3.
No, I'm
Every
calling
jo-
Drakes. I'm calling my tag team partner. Drakes.
Bro,
What I'm
E3.
saying is-
E3. Has to
Yeah,
be
me.
E3.
What'd you say?
E3 has to be the most significant postcode
Why
in,
E3?
in,
I said,
in
I
rap.
said the same thing.
Has to
I
be.
said the same thing.
Name how many people come from E E3?
Wiley, Rough Squad, Tinchy, Dizzy.
Okay, now
How could I
compare
forget?
that to Tottenham. You know how many
coming
rappers
out?
I can bring out?
Skepta, Jamie,
Skepta, Jeremy.
Wretch.
Don't dare you. Don't
Wretch.
dare say double S.
I didn't say double S. I said Wretch. I said Wretch. Now you done.
Yeah, go on.
Akala.
He's not
He's
from
a-
Tottenham.
he's not from Tottenham.
I took it back. I took it
See,
back.
you're claiming,
talking
bro.
about- I'm talking about-
Revisionist.
You're trying to pinch now, aren't you?
I was trying to pitch, but I still
Nah,
think
but-
Tottenham's the best rappers.
So
But it's like we said the last episode. If you put the best from East against the best, or the best from like Bow or whatever, against the best from Tottenham, or was it the best from East or the best from North?
The best Bowl and Tottenham, I believe it was last episode.
And I think it was East and North, and I think we both said East in terms of like the best four in terms of bars, because you can't put Skepta in there. He's not. up
You know, I've got South ahead of East.
don't let Slickson for the guy like Spin, man.
I would have South ahead of East. I would have
Nah,
North.
Skepta's nice.
Yo,
though,
I would
man.
generally have North, South, and then East in my ranking. I've got South second.
Fair enough.
The amount of rappers that you reeled off from South is ridiculous behavior. You might have got the new crop as well, innit? Which I give you.
Yeah, I think North and South can be
Yeah.
joint second for me.
But when you're talking about holding the on its back, that was North London. for
Man, I
me.
love how you cape for your end in that, bro.
So-
bro. It's just you're just letting.
I'd tell the truth. I'm
Bias.
surrounded by
You
people.
don't
that-
tell the
I
truth.
do.
You
Tell, I
don't
I'm
do
taking a
tell-
don't
page
tell
out of
the
Drake's book though. Newham needs to be said.
21 Savage.
Kano gets 21 Savage.
Stop saying 21
J
Savage.
Huss.
He's
J
from
Huss.
Newham.
Stop saying 21
Crazy
Savage. bro. I've let this run for like 5-6 months, like 5-6 minutes. Let's stop that.
He's from Newham.
And you say Crazy Titch?
Yeah,
I say Crazy's got a new single on.
classic rhythm. Please,
Yo, putting Crazy Tish on that list is wild, isn't it?
I'm just saying he's from there.
We let Yemi get away with a lot
I'm
of
just
shit.
saying.
He's got a new
Yo,
single
I'm just saying.
on.
We let
Yo, I
this
hate
boy.
you.
You don't know.
We let him
You
get
don't
away with a
know.
lot
You
of
don't
shit.
really. You don't really, but it's cool. Anyway, listen.
I can see
He's from
you.
there.
You can see me.
I can see that.
That's
Say my
not
name,
21 Savage.
Crazy.
How can I say Crazy Titch?
I said, say my name, Crazy T. Yuck.
Nah, man.
Like yuck.
I mean, 21's got a catalog. Like,
We're gonna stop saying 21. You're not about to give me a lot. He's not from East London. The brother is Atlanta born and bred, fam. What are we
he's
doing
not
here?
born at that. That's not true.
Hey man, we're not about to claim.
He's not-
We're gonna Google after.
Well, we're not claiming him. My point is,
We're
we
gonna
can't
Google.
claim him in this debate.
You
It's
can.
actually not really
You
fair.
kind of can. I feel you though.
How is this fair? I'm not claiming
Google
21
UK
Savage.
rappers and that little bit with the pictures. He comes up.
No, yeah, he actually does.
What does that mean?
He's
We're
from-
not
from
claiming
here,
him. My
Oh,
point
so
is,
what,
was here until
Google's
when?
a liar now.
we're not. What did you say?
He was here for a
Google
while
lies
as well.
now. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Google can lie.
He was here for a
When they
while. as
open
well.
up your third eye.
So what's the moral of the story, guys?
Hey man,
I guess East won.
East one, innit?
East has won this time.
East
I can see
one.
that.
I think
Special
I think
shout out
last
to the
time we said
women of
North.
South.
Last time we said North.
We said North.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Special shout out to the women of South.
yeah, man.
Special shout out.
Running shit.
Big up Shabo.
Darko.
Yeah.
Annie.
Don't know.
Miss Banks.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we just shouting
Probably
out
a few-
people?
Probably a few others as well.
Just the women.
I can't
Hey
even
man, shout out to
think
Pocket Rocket.
of. Oh my god.
Keep that in.
You're not about to keep that in.
Absolutely keep
You're not
that
about to keep that in.
Keep that in.
Wow, so this
No
is
one
charged.
knows who Pocket Rocket is. Keep it in, man.
Hey man, shout out to Pocket Rocket.
that
Splendid.
can only mean one thing in it, but we move.
Actually, you're gonna keep it in.
Keep it
I
in,
salute
man.
to Pocket Rocket.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up there. It's been an amazing episode. Definitely one for the books, an unprecedented one, and
It's always unprecedented.
couldn't have happened without our special guest.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Oh no.
Hey, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Thank you for having me. Big up, big up, big up.
Everybody, listen to the Disc and Terribly podcast as well.
If you
You know what I
like.
mean? If you like, you know what I mean. You get a nice slice of pretty much everything.
Swear down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
It's
Politics,
exhausting, to be
culture,
honest.
you know, obscene takes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Special guests,
I
up the
know.
yin yang and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
man.
No, I like
Very
that.
much.
It's a nice little plug for me. Thank you.
Hey man, I try my best.
Thanks for having me,
Give me the
guys.
gold,
You guys are doing something magical here still.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Trying.
Appreciate Drake's as well, as always,
Big up
behind
Drake,
the camera.
son. Big up
Salute
Drake.
to you.
Love to you,
Man,
bro.
like.
Boys, any shout outs before we take the people out?
I've
Cleo
shouted out
Soul.
I've shouted out my shout outs.
You know what I mean?
Hey man.
Shout
And,
out.
and Nux, man. Big up Nuts for a great album, man.
100%. Shout out Kendrick as well.
Kendrick
Shout out
Lamar,
to Mr.
Duckworth,
Morale,
Oklahoma.
Kendrick Lamar, Duckworth, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Hakeem Carter as well, Baby Keem.
Hakeem. Yeah.
Hakeem.
Yeah.
Well, however you pronounce it. Salute to all of you. And salute to everyone involved in that album as well.
Don't know.
But yes, we're going to sign off for now. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rhymes Like Diane's podcast.
Like the album.
He's not
Like
your
the
savior.
album. Like I mean, we pod, but we're not your savior.
Yemi knows all the social media links, but he is
He's
not
not
your
your
savior.
savior.
Anyway, please follow us on all the socials. We are on @RhymesDianesPod on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on YouTube, Rhymes Like Diane's podcast. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop something new. And yeah, you'll hear from us again in 2 weeks' time. But until then, stay blessed.
Big up, big
stay
up.
blessed.
Support local.
Support local.
Support independent.
Stay highly favored.
Stay black, blessed, and highly favored.
I mean, some of us aren't black. Some of them aren't black. But we move.
Stay
Our show's been
stay
atrocious,
blessed.
But it's all good. And peace.
Big up.